yourself, about leaving a legacy. Life is about looking and feeling good, about staying ahead. It's about being the best you. What you want, what we all want, is a life without limits. So why don't you be the best you?
People from all over the world are seeking inspiration, looking for answers, looking for ways to become the best version of themselves. And The Best You is launching in 2021 the Best TV series, a place where we will feature the best speakers, coaches, authors, and mentors. Leaders in their own rights, innovators, influencers, inspirers of the 21st century. Coming soon to The Best You TV.
The Best You TV, a TV channel with only the best business leaders and influencers ready to help you rise to the top. Available now on Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, and Google Play. Learn and grow from in-depth interviews, documentaries, inspirational talks, and motivational masterclasses from the world's biggest thought leaders, speakers, teachers, authors, coaches, and highly successful business gurus. The Best You TV is now live.
My passion is to set people free by helping you transform any area of your life more effectively and faster than anything you've tried before. I do this by unique abilities gifted to me through 2 near-death experiences that allow me to help you change your frequency, changing your life.
Hey, we're back. Day 2, the Best You Virtual Expo London. Great day so far. So much we've learned these last couple of days. We've had Rob Moore teaching some great tips on podcasting. We've just had Darren Winters talking about trading, Janie Lee Grace. And look, it just keeps going. So we're very excited about the people we still have remaining. Now, we just literally show a couple of commercials about the Best You TV. We're live. We're live on the Best You TV and Roku, Apple, and Amazon. We're also live now on Google Play on your Android, and we're going to probably be live in the next 12 to 24 hours on your iOS, on your phone. So you'll be able to watch the Best You TV on your phone as well. Very, very exciting. And you saw a very brief commercial of Masadadi, who is going to have his own TV show at the Best You TV. We're very excited about that. Mas is speaking later on in an hour. And we also show a very quick commercial of Nicola Smith-Jackson. Now, Nicola has also a show that's coming to the Best You TV, and she teaches financial independence, how to invest in money, how to build a business. She's speaking tomorrow too. So very exciting. We've got some great people. But right now, I'm going to be doing a very quick intro to a great friend, someone who I admire very deeply, who does some great things, has been doing it for a very long time. Although, you know, he looks very young. He's a little bit older than he really looks like. He's a granddad. But he's a great guy, very knowledgeable. And it's David D. Fagan. David D. Fagan is a former CEO of Guerrilla Marketing, which sold over 23 million books in 62 languages all over the world, as well as the former owner of LCO Communications, a Beverly Hills PR firm that has represented 58 Academy Award winners, 34 Grammy winners, and 43 New York Times bestsellers. David is the best-selling author for several books, including World Genius, what to say and how to say it, guerrilla parenting, how to raise an entrepreneur, cracking the icon code, and how to become an icon in your industry through your advice, image, and expertise, and from invisible to invincible, and how to make your presence felt. He's a great publisher. He publishes books for so many great people as well. He's an international speaker in places as far away as Dubai. In those days, you could travel in Bangladesh, Kenya, and Australia. He shared the stage with everyone from former Secretary of Defense, Dr. Bob, it says Dr. Bob Gates, and to Mark Victor Hansen. So I'm very excited to have David. He's got a great title. I'm going to read it out, but just in case, if not, he can correct me if it's long. The title is, actually, I'm going to ask him. David, do you mind coming in?
Yes.
Hey.
Yes.
I had the title there, but I think I've misplaced it. How are you?
And I'm glad you didn't have that in front of me too, because we're doing something a little bit different. We're going to kind of add to this series. You've had me on so much. I've had some requests, and so we're gonna kind of build out on this and get a little bit more advanced. You've got some pretty sophisticated people tuning in, so I'm excited to share with them some more sophisticated content.
Well, you always deliver, over-deliver, and you always bring great expertise. Took a lot of sense, and you're very good at what you do. So
we're bringing out the whiteboard here, Bernardo. Like, we're getting serious today.
I saw you got the whiteboard. You mean business?
That's right.
All right, man. Well, listen, enjoy. Floor is yours. Speak soon.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you, my friend. Yeah, guys, wanted to talk a little bit about the number one thing. And everybody's always saying, hey, this is the number one thing you got to do in business, the number one thing that's going to make the biggest difference. You know, if you only have this attribute, if you only have this characteristic, you know, it's the number one thing, right? Or here's the top two things. So yeah, there's a lot of number one things depending on, you know, what lens you're looking at. You know, what context, you know, how relative it is to something else. But I'll tell you, I'm going to make an argument for another number one thing that you probably haven't heard discussed, at least in a little while. It is not the sexiest topic, but it is, well, it's the most important one, okay? And I'll try to give it to you in the most entertaining way. Well, not try, I will. I have done this before, and I've done it many times. This is somewhat of a client favorite, somewhat of a fan favorite within our event series. And the reason why it is such a fan favorite is because it really comes down to how you are generating income, how you're making money. You know, I mean, imagine that. Look, you can't have a business, and dare I even say a nonprofit organization or a charity, without attracting money. So what is the money attraction system? Now, before you tune away, oh no, another sales talk. No, it's not that. It's not really that. And even if it was that, you probably want to tune into it, because this is what it all comes down to. I don't care whether it's you or somebody else in your organization. I don't care who it is, but you have to have somebody who is the rainmaker, who is the person who is bringing in money. And like I said, even if it is a not-for-profit organization, we work with quite a few of those, even though they're not-for-profits, you still need resources, right? You still need money to carry out and serve the people that you want to serve. So somebody has to go out and attract those donations, those clients. Dare I say the word sales? I know if I say sales, and for some people it's like, oh, sales, David, I'm not here for sales. I'm not about sales. You know, I'm just out here to give and serve and share, and it's just all magically going to work out for me. Well, yes and no. Yes and no. But I want to show you how solopreneurs and small business owners are bringing in big dollars, how solopreneurs and small business owners are bringing in big dollars because somebody is learning the art of rainmaking. Someone is learning the art of client attraction, right? Enrollment, I think, is the best word that's being used nowadays. I prefer the word enrollment, but really when we're saying enrollment, it's just a higher level of sales. Sales comes across a little bit cold. It comes across a little bit hard. It has a little bit of a negative connotation to it, but it's needed. It's needed. but probably the more sophisticated, higher energy word, higher frequency word is enrollment. So I want to talk to you about that today. We've done fairly well, especially even in times where things get more difficult. As a matter of fact, I think we probably stretch out and exceed and kind of distance ourselves from the pack more when things are difficult, because it's easy to kind of make hay while the sun shines. I don't know if you heard that expression, right? You got to make hay while the sun shines. But when things are a little bit easier, there's another expression: good times form bad policy. Good times form bad habits, right? Because we get a little spoiled. Sales come a little easier, clients come a little easier, and then all of a sudden times get tougher for whatever reason. Maybe there's more people getting into the industry. Maybe technology changes, the rules are changing. Maybe people can't go outside as much or travel to events as much. So things get a little bit more difficult, and then all of a sudden, okay, now we need a system, right? Maybe we didn't have a system before. Maybe we were kind of winging it, right? We don't want to wing it. We want to be on purpose. We want to be very intentional. So that's what I want to talk to you about today, okay? And I'm gonna get very specific. For the people who want to run a real business with real profits and real systems and real processes, real procedures, okay? They want their profits to be more predictable. You don't one great month and one bad month and okay month and down again, and man, we shot up through, and okay, why is that happening, right? For those people who don't want the roller coaster ride, who here wants to avoid the roller coaster ride of the entrepreneur life? Yeah, it's fun. It's fun for a little bit here and there, but as time goes on, it's nice to have things level out just a little bit, and if anything, we want to climb, right? And the real growth, if you had to pick a model, and you can't really pick it, but it's kind of like going up, and then maybe you go down a little bit as you improve things, and then you go up again, and then you have to sort of build systems, and you might dip a little bit, and then you go up again because you got better systems and better technology, and then you dip maybe a little bit, you got to hire more people or build a better team, and then you go up again. So it's up and dip and up and dip and up, but overall it's that up cycle. We don't want up and down, right? We don't want one good month, one bad month. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about what the more sophisticated people out there are doing. We've represented some really big names. We've managed some pretty big talent. We coach, 6 and 7 figure, earners and money makers. And these aren't necessarily people with massive teams and companies and offices and structures. So for the most part, a lot of these are, small business owners, meaning they got a team of, 3 to 10, or solopreneurs. It's pretty much them. Maybe they got a VA that's helping them out. Okay. So think about that. Who is bringing in the money for you? Okay. If it's you, if you're looking in the mirror going, hey guy, that's you. Hey girl, that's you. Okay. Well then, what are you doing to get better at sales and marketing and sales, or what I would call attraction and enrollment, And this is really, a pipeline. Okay, this is really a pipeline or a funnel. Pipeline or a funnel. Okay, I could take this whole thing, tip it on its side, and kind of show it in the terms of a funnel. Okay, and of course the funnel goes like that, right? And so everything that I am showing here today is also a funnel. At the very top, we've got where all the leads are coming in, what I would call prospects or suspects. And then going down, we're having discovery sessions and calls and making offers and getting commitments and collecting and then fulfilling. Now, why do we need to break it down so much like this? David, this seems like overkill. I just go out and sell. I don't even know what I do, right? I just show up and make money. Well, if you do that, good for you. That's wonderful. But for those of you that like to be a little bit more purposeful and would like to double what you're bringing in, you would like to increase the amount of clients that you're bringing in a more predictable way, I'm going to give you a system for this, okay? I built a Beverly Hills PR company with this. I've done different types of investments in real estate with this type. I've helped other clients build their business. I built a publishing company that's published hundreds of books. I've helped a lot of people, and this is the system, right? This is the system. Now, I've probably read a lot of the same books as you guys. I've probably gone to some of the same great trainings as you guys, maybe a few more than some others. You know, this is the best of what I have learned out there. So I'm not trying to take credit for all of this. You might be like, well, that piece kind of sounds familiar, David. Well, you know, that part that kind of sounds interesting. That sounds like this, or this sounds like that. Yeah, guys, this is a compilation, and you should find comfort in that, because I am taking a whole bunch of books and a whole bunch of courses and a whole bunch of advice and a whole bunch of people, and I am combining it into what I have used for over a decade now in my own businesses and investments, as well as the clients that I have coached and consulted, okay? So I'm showing you guys this, and I'm going to break this down in a second, but there's one more piece of context so that you really can appreciate what we're going to do here. And that is this. If your car runs out of gas, do you change the tire? Of course not, at least I hope not. If you get a flat tire, do you go and start putting more gas in the tank? No, why not? Because that's not the problem. The reason why I am breaking this down for myself and my clients and now you is because we need to know what's wrong before we try to fix things. The greatest source of frustration for people out there when they're growing their business and trying to attract more clients and enroll more is they feel like something's not working. And obviously that's easy to tell. Hey, we're not making as much as we want to make. Okay, check. We know that for sure. So we need to do things drastically different. We got to blow things up. We got to change things. Well, a lot of times what's happening is people are changing things and fixing things that are not the problem. Okay, so the point of having a system like this is to really understand what and where is the breakdown, because that's what we want to fix. That's what we want to do better. Okay. What are most people doing out there to grow their business? They're talking about, oh, well, I want to write a book, or I got to have a website, or, you know, I've got to develop my brand, or I got to build my presentation. I've got to, you know, I got to get online social media. Yeah. All those things are great things to do, but we need to put them in context of specifically what they're doing in terms of the pipeline, of the sales process, of the attraction and client enrollment system, okay? Let me give you an example, right? Let me give you a little bit more specifics on this. But before I do that, let me run through the list of these types of things, okay? First, we have our prospects over here. Prospects, you know, prospects are almost anybody that could just, you know, fog a glass. They're alive, they're breathing, and just a little bit more than that, right? They're somewhat in your industry, age group, you know, whatever your ideal client looks like, they're kind of somewhat in that. That's a prospect, okay? The people that are becoming friends on Facebook, the people that are becoming LinkedIn connections, you know, these are prospects. People that you're meeting, you know, as you kind of go about your day. These are prospects. Okay, one step up from prospects is suspects, okay? And suspects is a word that, you know, multiple people have used and companies have used, and even companies like Infusionsoft. But suspects is people that say and do things that could make them guilty of being your client someday, right? So we do a lot in the publishing and publicity world. So if I hear somebody saying, yeah, you know, I've always wanted to write a book, ding, ding, ding. Oh, they've always wanted to write a book. Oh, my clients say things like that, you know, and I hear somebody talking, they're saying, yeah, you know, I've always wanted to have my own show, and, you know, and I'm trying to figure out, you know, the best way to get it out there. Oh, ding, ding, ding. They want to have their own show. The type of people that are my clients, they want to have a show, right? Or people say, yeah, you know, I feel like I'm the world's best kept secret. I just got to get out there. I got to get more exposure. Oh, right. These are things that my clients say. And so that makes them very suspect. Okay. That makes them very suspect. So, you know, a suspect is even better than a prospect. And I want to get the best suspects into a call with me, into some kind of discovery session where I'm interviewing them and they're interviewing me, and we're seeing if there's a basis for doing business together. Okay, you should write down that phrase because that's something that you want to be very intentional on in your discovery calls. And you might even want to ask them, hey, I just want to see if there's a basis for doing business together. Not will you sign up with me and give me a check today, but just is there a basis for doing business together? And maybe it's not even an exchange of money. Maybe it's exchange of referrals. Maybe it's an exchange of leads. Maybe it's an exchange of opportunities. Okay. But that's the discovery session. And then from the discovery session, what is your special offer? What is your custom proposal? And then from the special offer and custom proposal, we want to get a commitment out of them. We want to hear them say the words, yeah, I want to do this. I plan on doing this. I'm going to do this. Sounds good. I'm in, right? That's a commitment. Now, don't confuse commitment with collection. A lot of people will take their foot off the gas and be like, oh, yeah, they're in. They want to do it. Well, did they pay you yet? Well, if they have not paid you, and again, this works for nonprofits as well. If they did not donate the money to you, okay, then you still don't have what you need. Don't stop. And then after you collect the money, now it's time to fulfill, right? Now it's time to fulfill. So prospects and suspects, this is really the marketing part of it all. Discovery, special offers, commitment, collection, this is a part of sales, okay? And then fulfillment is fulfillment, right? That is the deliverables that you provide, your product or your services provide. So this is really your whole business. And if you're a solopreneur, guess what? You're the marketing department, you're the sales department, you're the fulfillment department, right? You're doing the majority of all these things, okay? But having this is really understanding your vehicle that's going to get you to where you want to go. And now if your vehicle is going slow, now we can look at specifically why. Now, if it is broke down, we can figure out exactly where. So for example, if you're getting lots of prospects, but hardly no suspects, well, now we know we need to focus on where do you find the people that are your more ideal clients, okay? There's no sense in focusing on all this other stuff if that's not what you have problems with. Let's say you get lots of good prospects, and let's say you get lots of good suspects, and let's say you're getting on a lot of discovery calls, but nobody is saying, tell me more, give me a price, tell me about your program. You know, if nobody's really interested in that, well then, you know, you might not have a very good process or a very good training or script for a good discovery call. You're not asking the right questions. You're not forming the relationship in the right way, right? But now we can focus on that. Now we can train on, okay, how do I have a better exchange, right? How do I communicate better, right? How do I create a better perception of value? If you get a lot of people that are saying, yeah, I like the special offer, I like what you do, but they're not committing, well, then maybe we have more of an enrollment conversation or a very specific objection handling conversation, right? Again, maybe there's more things you need to do to create a perception of value. If you're having trouble collection, fulfillment, all of these things, they're connected, but they are separate. Connected, but separate individual milestones and metrics. And, you know, what gets measured gets improved, right? You've probably heard that expression, you've probably heard that saying. One of the places is the book Good from Great, right? So think about this type of thing, right? What do you have a system? Are you kind of just winging it? Are you kind of just going, well, you know, I talk to people here and there, people refer me, and I just talk to them. You know, somebody says, hey, talk to so-and-so about, you know, their coaching. And so they come to me and I talk to them about it. It either works or it doesn't. Well, okay, that's fine. It's okay to kind of fail forward a little bit. But what if you now had a system for getting prospects and getting suspects and doing discovery calls, right? What if you had a predictable method to do all of this, right? So let me tell you what that would look like a little bit. Like, I know exactly what it takes for me to make $1 million. I know exactly what my average client will spend with me on average during the course of a year, right? What's that average client and average dollar figure that they're going to spend with me during the year? I know how many discovery calls I have to do and how many custom proposals I have to write to get so many people to commit so that a certain percentage will actually pay so that the business go, so on and so forth. Now, for a lot of you, I'm guessing this probably isn't new. This is like the chunk down, the break it down, you know, the reverse engineering. I want to make this, so I need to do 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 this. If you do know that and you're not doing that, maybe it's time to get back to basics, right? Because the world has changed, right? So if you're not doing stuff like this, then, and you're kind of winging it and you're used to kind of making hay while the sun shines and things are getting a little bit more difficult for whatever the reason is, then this is what you want to start to embrace. Right? And we're just barely scratching the surface of how we're going to get into this today, but I had to sort of set the table and let you know what we're talking about and how we're talking about it, you know, and fixing what's broken, right? That's probably the top problem I see is people, they get all kinds of good advice about getting people to commit, but guess what? That's not their problem. Their problem is they're not talking to enough people, or they got all these people coming into them. You know, I got 1 million YouTube views, David, right? I got all these Instagram followers. I got 10,000 Instagram followers. Yeah, but are they your ideal clients? Are they suspect of hiring you someday? Well, probably not. Well, then that doesn't really matter then. You know, we gotta get things in context. We gotta get things, you know, right. We gotta get things laser. So where do we find the right people to do all this kind of stuff? So now that we understand this, now let's talk about writing a book or doing a magazine. Does writing a book or doing a magazine get you more prospects and leads? Suspects? Maybe. What does the book do in here? Oh, I'm building a website. Great. What's the website specifically for? Is the website to get you more prospects and suspects? Is it to set more discovery calls? See, now what we're doing is whatever we're creating to grow our business, we can now go back and say, well, what part of the pipeline is this going to help us with? Is it going to help us with fulfillment? Hey, I got a new system. I got a new procedure. I got a new checklist here. This is going to help us proactively solve our clients' problems before they even exist, and so that we can fulfill for them better. Great. Now we know we're doing that for fulfillment. Okay. We're not just randomly doing things for the sake of doing them. You know, I've got some people that they have the most magical fulfillment and deliverability system. You know, their products and their services are just unmatched, unparalleled in the universe, right? But people never make it to the fulfillment process, or not enough people are making it to the fulfillment process. Maybe you're at home going, David, I'm really good at what I do. I just don't have enough clients. Great. So then these starter steps is where we want to focus a little bit more on, right? This is what we want to throw into the pipeline. This is what we want to throw into the funnel. Okay. And I've got some great funnels for you to kind of break that stuff down. But this is big picture. So let me give you an example here so that we can just keep drilling down and getting more specific and more specific. Let's say I'm getting about 100 prospects a week, and out of those 100 prospects a week, about 35 of them are good suspects. They're saying the right thing. And out of those 35 suspects, I can get 10 of them on the phone with me that are willing, you know, to have that high trust call, right? You know, and do a discovery process where I'm going to interview them, they're going to interview me. Okay, so let's say 10 of them will do that. Let's say 6 of the 10 say, yeah, David, I like what you're saying. Tell me what it would look like to have more of you in my life. Tell me what your solution is. Tell me what your product is. Tell me what your service is. And they are asking me for a custom proposal. They're asking me for that irresistible offer, that special offer. Okay, so 6 of them, great. So let's say out of the 6 of those people in a week, let's say 4 of them commit and say, okay, sounds good. I like it. I like it. This is great, right? This is wonderful. I'm in. And then out of those 4, let's say 3 actually pay me, in a relatively short amount of time. We're talking days, not weeks and months, days. They collect, and so they go to work. Okay. So we started off with 100 and we got it all the way down to like 2 or 3 over the course of a week. Okay. Now, the reality of the situation is most people, they're only getting, say, maybe 20, 30 prospects. Maybe they only have 4, 5, 6 suspects. Maybe once a week, they're getting onto 1 discovery call. And so every other week, or maybe once or twice a month, they're getting to do a special offer, and maybe they're finding a client, right? So the numbers, when they're too small here, it's hard to get all the way through the process and to the end, Okay. Some people are just struggling at different points. Now, where your authority status comes into play is all throughout this, but especially when you're doing the commitment and special offer and collection, right? Because they're essentially in this process saying a 2-word question. You guys have probably heard me talk about this a lot. It's in all my books, it's all my presentations. This is what everybody wants to know. It's just 2 words. They're either thinking it subconsciously or they're literally saying it to you. Why you? Right? Why should I read your book instead of someone else's book? Why should I do your course instead of someone else's course? Why should I go to your event instead of someone else's event? Why should I hire you instead of somebody else? Right? Why should I do this instead of nothing at all? Right? Why this? Why you? So you have to have a very compelling answer. Well, hey, I published this best-selling book. Hey, I've been in this magazine. Hey, I've been featured on this media. Hey, I've won these awards. Hey, look at all these testimonials. Hey, I serve on the board of, right? Those answers is the why you, and a big part of not just attracting the people, but enrolling the people when, push comes to shove. And really, it's not a push or a shove. It's an attract. It's a pull. Right? So you having the right accomplishments is the pull. Now, I didn't want to talk a lot about the authority marketing. I didn't want to talk a lot about the accomplishments until you understood where it fit in the process, right? Now we can talk more about the things that generate leads, the things that generate your following, right? Because now you know it fits into your prospects and your suspects. And this is all working on the business instead of in the business. Now I just tapped into a little E-Myth, right? A little Michael Gerber. I've had several good conversations with him. He's spoken at some of my events, but the fulfillment, right? That's really working in the business. This is on the business, okay? This is what grows our business, is by learning how to attract and enroll, how to market and how to sell. And again, I don't care who does this in your organization, but somebody has to do this. If you can't do this, if you're not good at this, if you're not willing to learn this, if you're not willing to become good at this, well, you kind of have a non-starter of a startup business, okay? So when people tell me, hey, I'm starting it up, great. Who's going to be your rainmaker? Who's going to attract? Who's going to enroll? Is that you? No, that's not you? Okay, then who's going to do it? Because if you don't have somebody doing that, then this isn't going to go anywhere. One of the things we help people with is shows, right? One of the great opportunities that the Best You has going on right now is a very rapidly growing platform where you can host your own show. Well, the show in of itself, a lot of times, isn't going to make you any money. What it's going to have to do is bring you other money-making opportunities. It could be sponsors. It could be product placements. It could be paid guests. Okay, great. Well, those paid sponsors and paid guests are going to come through a funnel like this. So even though you're a show host, you love to be a show host, and you're going to fulfill on a show someday, you still are going to have to build a list of people who want to be a part of your show and spend money as a sponsor, as a product placement, as a paid guest. And there's a few other ways to monetize it as well. So you're going to have to be talking to these people. You're going to have to be having discovery sessions with these people, right? And making special offers. Now, there's a lot of things that can help. Okay, so in no particular order, I'm just going to give you a couple little things just to give you an example here. For example, I use a lot of visual aids in the discovery process. Nowadays, we're online. So I have Venn diagrams and I have workflow charts, right? Because we want to make complex things simple. Write that down. Am I making complex things simple? We don't want to make complex things complex. We want to make complex things simple. Visual aids is one of the ways to make complex things simple, right? Visual aids is a great way to get more prospects and suspects. Visual aids is a great way to enroll people, not just attract, but enroll people, right? Even your special offer, you know, there is somewhat of a show and tell that happens. Okay, your special offer, a part of your special offer, a part of the commitment process is you having some kind of agreement, some kind of contract. People say, oh, David, it sounds so boring, it's so operational. I don't want to talk about a contract. Okay, so an agreement, which is a little bit more friendly than contract, just like enrollment is a little more friendly than sales, but an agreement, you guys don't realize this, but an agreement is actually helping you enroll. What type of company uses agreements? The type of company that's on purpose, a type of company that's prepared, a type of company that has invested in themselves. A real company, a real business has real agreements. Imagine that, right? So the agreement is the agreement. There is value in the words that you are agreeing to, but beyond that, there is an emotional trigger. Okay, there's an emotional trigger. There is something that happens in the individual when you are giving them an agreement. Do you see that? Do you feel that? Do you feel like maybe you're in more reputable hands when somebody has agreement, that you're dealing with a professional? And the more money you pay, the more money you invest, how much more important is it that you feel like you are working with someone that's a professional, right? So guys, I'm just barely, this is stuff that I do for days and weeks and years and ongoing coaching with our clients that we're marketing and we're representing and we're managing. These are things that we spend a day or two on and events and training sessions, okay? But I just want to get your wheels turning right now in this very short amount of time, as I want you kind of sitting back going, okay, yeah, all right. So what am I doing? Do I have a system? Am I winging it? Is my strategy hope and prayer? Nothing wrong with a little hope and prayer. But do I have some? Do I wake up every day going, I need to get this many prospects and suspects? Do you kick off every week going, okay, how many discovery calls this week? Do you even know how many discovery calls? Like, I know how many calls I need to make every week. And I can tell, like, if I'm getting through the week and I haven't had so many calls, okay, I'm falling behind. I'm not going to hit my numbers of collections if I'm not hitting my numbers of discovery calls. And I'm not going to hit my number of discovery calls if I'm not meeting enough new people, right? So I can measure this and I can improve this and I can tweak this. And sometimes things that once got me prospects and suspects might not get me as many prospects and suspects anymore. Okay, so this is the overall system. Like, this is a couple hours just talking about how to get more prospects. This is a couple hours just talking about how to get more suspects. This is at least a couple hours. How do you have a really good discovery session? There's a great book, by the way, High Trust Selling by Todd Duncan. Man, it's great for this component of it all. How do I write my special offer, my irresistible offer, right? Dan Kennedy's really good at writing these. Other great copywriters like Joe Sugarman, these types of people, right? How do you write that irresistible special offer? We help our clients do that. Now, how do you get the commitment? That's kind of the sales part of it all. Maybe that's a little Grant Cardone 10X. Maybe that's a little Zig Ziglar, right? I'm just kind of bringing out some different names that are really good at these types of things. The collection, same type of thing. Do you keep track of the amount you collect? Some people sell a ton, but then they don't do things well enough to keep collecting the money, right? I can say, okay, how much did you sell? This, great. How much did you collect of that? How many of you guys at home are even keeping track of what you're collecting versus what people are committing to you? I find that that's a real kind of hidden, lost area that isn't tracked. And once we start to measure it, we can start to improve it. We can start to focus on it. We can start to think about these things. But this is the difference. This right here, this is the difference between someone who has a 6 and 7 figure business and somebody who's kind of stuck. They're kind of stuck. And I'll ask you a question. Think about this for a second. And stick with me on this one because it's a little bit tough, okay? So it's going to stretch you maybe a little bit. Okay, this isn't math, but we might have to do some math in the future, but it's awfully close to math. Here we go. Have you been in business for 12 months, or have you been in business for 1 month 12 times? Have you been in business for 60 months? That's 5 years. Have you been in business for 60 months? Or have you been in business for 1 month 60 different times? What's the difference between the two things I'm asking? I'm asking you, is every month a start over? Every month, do you start over at 0 and then start building from there every month? Or are you building a pipeline that there is automation so that you're continuing to follow up? People become prospects and they're not ready to become suspects, but you keep talking to them. And so some become suspects. Some of those suspects aren't ready to get on the phone with you, but you keep talking to them through automation, through follow-up, through systems. And then some of those people get on a discovery call. And some of those people that get on that call, they're ready to move forward, but some of them aren't. Do you just let them go? Or do you use a system? Do you use automation to follow up with them so that when they're ready, you're there? People don't buy when you're ready to sell. Okay. People buy when they're ready to buy. Sometimes it's just our job to stay in touch with them. Okay. And staying in touch with them keeps us from having to start over at 0 every single month. This is really important. This is really, really important. So it's like, you should get to the point where when you start the new month, it isn't, hey, I've got 0 leads, 0 prospects, 0 clients, 0 people in the pipeline. It's, I got this person kind of stuck on discovery. I've got this person still considering committing. I've got these prospects that are probably going to become suspects. Like, you should have people in each category sitting there waiting to take the next step. And you're going to do everything you can to help them take the next step. But quite honestly, sometimes they just need things to line up in their life. And what you need to do is to stay in touch with them, right? People sometimes just need a lot of touches. You've probably heard it said that somebody needs 7 touches, right? 7 touches, 7 conversations, 7 contacts, texts, calls, emails, 7 interactions. We got the Super Bowl that comes up, once a year in the United States, and commercials. When it comes to commercials, they say, man, someone has to really hear that commercial 20, 30 times before they really even start to remember it when they are away from it. Okay. Same kind of thing in business. People need to have some experiences with you and some touches with you. So we don't want to start over. How you grow exponentially is by not starting over every day, every week, every month, every year. You should be going into the next time frame, time block, time period with something from the last time period and time block, meaning I'm going to go into the next month with things that I had going on from the last month and maybe even from the last year. I'm going to go on to the next month and quarter with things that are in my pipeline from the last month and quarter. Okay. Now, how do you keep all of those things going? Again, that's the automation component. David, email doesn't work anymore. Well, it doesn't work as good as it used to, but you got to get a little bit better at your writing, right? We can't be as lazy with that. We got to hone those skills. But we can also text. Well, text, oh man, now people are opting out of text. Well, maybe it's LinkedIn. Yeah, LinkedIn. Okay, but everybody's doing LinkedIn. Not everything works for every person and every time and every place. We have to play the odds. Write that down. I need to play the odds, right? And playing the odds is best practices. So best practices is when you do things day in and day out, best practices are going to work more than they're not going to work. And it used to be, what's one thing I could do to get 100 people to my event? What's one thing I could do to get 100 people to opt in? Now it's, what's 100 things I can do to get 100 people into my event? What's 100 things I can do to get 100 people into my pipeline, into my attraction and my enrollment funnel, right? So we got to stop thinking about what's the one thing. Yeah, we want to think about what the best thing is, and we can't necessarily do them all, but we got to do a lot of things. When we do our events, we're texting, we're doing phone calls. You know, I'm sending things in Messenger, I'm sending things in LinkedIn. You know, I mean, it's like show up or restraining order. Okay, it's like okay, either I'm going to engage David in whatever the next step or whatever thing, or restraining order. And of course, I'm joking. I'm actually pretty nice and easygoing, but it's almost that kind of feeling that I want with my team, right? It's like I find that some people that are less experienced, maybe also younger people. We've had a lot of interns in the Beverly Hills office, right? More and more, it's like, hey, did you call them? Did you call the individual? Did you call the lead, the prospect, the suspect, the discovery call? Did you call them? You know, did you contact them? Yeah, I reached out. Well, how did you reach out? Oh, well, I sent them a message in Skype. It's like, well, okay, well, then what? Well, I know I'm waiting to hear back. Well, I sent a message in Messenger, we have to really go after the hot opportunities, right? Like, just to prove my point, and maybe even to make them giggle a little bit, it's like, hey, I want you to call them. If they don't answer, I want you to find their neighbor. I want you to call their neighbor. I want you to tell their neighbor to walk over to their house, knock on their door. If they don't answer their door, walk into their house, shake them by the shoulders and say, David Fagan is looking for you, right? Don't stop until I want you to get a private eye. I want you to, I'm being silly here, of course, but the point is all of these things that you can do, all of these things you can do, like what would you do to get that client, right? Because I know what the average value of my client is, I can also start to reverse engineer how much money and time I can spend on a lead. So you might have heard of, CPL, CPM, all these things, cost per lead, cost per acquisition, cost per client acquisition. So what those numbers are is it's them breaking down how much they will spend to get a prospect or a suspect or a discovery call. Right? The big event producers, I know that world's changed, but it's mostly just shifted online. Obviously, there's still big events going on. They know what they can spend on a cost per lead and cost per client acquisition. They know, hey, the average client's worth $17,000 in a year to me. The average client will spend, $10,000 just to start with me. Hey, our second biggest deal is a $30,000 package. Okay, so what can I afford to spend if that's what I'm going after, right? You can't really figure out what you can expend. You can't really figure out a lot of those things until you understand this. So sometimes people will come to me and they'll say, hey, David, thinking about hosting my own radio show. This is what I think it will cost. Should I do it? Well, I don't know. How many people does it take for you to get somebody on the phone? What do you sell your products for? How many people that, go to your website will buy? How many people that get on the phone with you will enroll? How many people will, you kind of have to know those numbers. Now, if you know those numbers, things start to get a lot easier, a lot faster. Now, I'm going to give you guys some gifts for you guys that stuck with me. If you want some of these visual aids that we have all kinds of different funnels that talk about these things and break them down, and split them up. I will give those to you. You can go to my site, davidtfagan.com. There's a way to engage me there. There's a way to opt in to get some of these gifts. Now, freeze. What am I doing right now? Am I practicing what I preach? Yeah, what did I just do? I created hopefully a perception of value. We need to make people want. Ask yourself that. Does my marketing make people want? Does my message make people want? right? Is me, David Fagan, my message make you want more from me? Maybe not everyone, but maybe some people. If I'm making you want, good marketing makes you want, then I'm doing the right thing to get more prospects and suspects. I mean, yes, sure, we can talk. And yes, sure, you can get these funnels that I'm talking about. And yes, sure, maybe you want to come to my event. But the bigger point I want you to catch here is, did you see what I was doing? I did all of this. I'm doing all of this. Okay. And then it's like, hey, do you want more? Do you want more? Emphasis on want. I'm just highlighting that for you guys that want to get the presentation under the presentation. For those of you who want to get the presentation under the presentation, it's not just what I'm saying, but how am I saying? It's not just what I'm doing, but how am I doing it? Okay. And how do you do the same things that I'm doing? That's what I'm showing you right now. Right? So I'm creating the want, hopefully for some of you, for sure. So now what do you do next? It's that call to action, right? Well, go to my website, book some time with me. If you're going to book some time with me, you're a prospect, you're a suspect, and guess what? We're setting up a discovery call. And don't worry, I'm not there to sell you. I'm there to discover if we have a basis for doing some kind of business together. And it might be, oh, I need to hire you, or oh, I need to refer somebody to you, or oh, you're not the right fit, but maybe you're going to refer somebody to me, or oh, you know, now's not the right time, but I know somebody that probably wants to interview you and be on your show, right? So by me doing things like this is just one thing that I do to create prospects and suspects and discovery calls. And then from discovery calls, we can see what goes there. And I don't always like this term, but it's a numbers game, really. You know, I mean, it's not, I don't think of it as a game. I hate to think as individuals as cold, hard numbers. I don't see them that way. You know, we're illuminated beings here, right? But it is a process that we need to take people through, right? And the right people, the best people. So think about that. What are you doing to find the right people, prospects, people, suspects? I'm saying people because I don't want to just make it a number. What are you doing to make them want, right? What are you sharing with them to make them want more so that you are attracting them? When you make people want, that is the attraction part of this. Okay. That's why sometimes people say, I have a lead magnet, right? They have a free self-assessment test. They have a white paper. They have a video series. They have an ebook. That is their lead magnet because they are attracting the prospect and suspect. They are attracting the prospect and suspect. Once you attract enough of the right prospects and suspects, now we're going to enroll them. Now we're going to enroll them. And there is an art to enrollment, to objection handling, to creating a perception of value, right? There's a certain number of feelings we want them to feel in order for them to move forward. There's actually 7 of them. One is that you are the authority. You can come across as the authority by being the best-selling author, by being the host of a show, by having testimonies and endorsements, by winning awards, but you can become the authority, right? Value. What is the value of what you offer? You have to create a high perception of value. When people see your special offer, is it special? Is there a perception of value, right? Another one of these is that it is duplicatable, okay? Meaning, do they feel like they can do what you have done or what you have done for other people? Sometimes we make it too complex, or we brag about having these really big clients. I even have some celebrity clients. I'm careful not to talk too much about them, because then what happens, someone says, oh, well, I'm not that person. I didn't win a Grammy. I'm not that person. I'm not a New York Times best-selling author. I'm not that guy. You know, I can't do that. Instead, I want to show them examples of something that everybody can do. Hey, here's a single mom of 4. You know, she's from Idaho, population 5,000. Let me show you how she went from a couple thousand followers to a couple million followers in her own cable TV show, right? Okay, now that I can get into because it feels duplicatable. It feels duplicatable. So there's 7 of these things. Who here would like to know what the rest of them are? Yeah? Okay. Well, I'm not going to tell you. Now, what am I doing? I'm finding out who wants, right? And I'm letting you sit in that want. And now that I've created some want, what would I like you to do? Right? Well, hey, go to my website. Hey, register here. Hey, download this. Hey, get my book, Word Genius. In my book, Word Genius, What to Say and How to Say It, at wordgeniusbook.com, right? You can get that book. It teaches all about the 7 feelings that people need to feel in order to move forward. Because when it comes to enrollment, it's all about inspiring action in every audience, okay? But one of the mistakes that some of you guys are making is you're giving too much too soon. You give so much to a prospect and a suspect, they don't even need to get on the phone with you. See what I'm saying? You're giving so much in the discovery, in the training, in the relationship forming, they can walk away and go, wow, well, you've given me a lot here. Let me start with what you've already given me. And then, let me take it from there. I'll come back to you after I get that, right? Most of you are actually giving people too much. You want to give them just enough that you're the authority. You want to give them just enough that there's a perception of value. You want to give them just enough that it's duplicatable. And there's 4 more things that you really need to do, because it comes down to the feelings that people feel that really determines whether they're going to move forward. Sometimes people focus so much on the information, they're not focusing on the feelings. Okay, what are you doing to help people feel what they need to feel so that they will move forward with you? Very important part of all this. I just gave you 3 of them. There's 4 left. You might want to get the Word Genius book or set up a time to talk with me. Now, what did I just do? Hopefully you guys, again, I'm doing this in real time here. Some of you guys, David, I think you're toying with me, or David, maybe you're even annoying me. But I'm going an extra effort and giving you the presentation, but I'm also giving you the presentation under the presentation so you can see in real time that I am practicing what I'm preaching about attracting and enrolling by making some of you prospects and suspects and maybe even a discovery call. And is that good for me? Yeah, sure, maybe. But more importantly, so that you can see what I'm doing and say, how do I do what David's doing? Obviously, this works for David. He's got a few clients. He's doing all right. Okay. So how do I do this? So I am modeling. I am modeling. How do you model? How do you model what you want to teach? Modeling is practicing what you preach, right? So I am modeling what I'm showing you how to do by doing it right now while I'm training you on the topic. Slow down there for you, get a little in the matrix there. Okay, so I'm not going to be able to get into every single one of those topics. I'm not going to be able to get into all of the wanting and the 7 feelings that you need to feel in order to move forward. I'm not going to be able to get into how you model it all. I'm not going to be able to show you every single pipeline that we have. Okay, we've got a lot of different pipelines that show exactly how to go through it step by step. Okay, but those things are the things that you need to learn. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a way to get some of those things. Okay, I'm going to give you a way to get some of those things. And so I've given you davidtfagan.com, which is on here, wordgeniusbook.com. Now, don't worry, I'm going to give you a few other things that you're really going to like, but I want to sort of compartmentalize this, right? Because a confused person is not what we're looking for. We don't want to confuse. We want to clarify. No, we don't want to confuse. Okay, so I'm going to give you one more thing here. This is going to be one of the last things I give to you today. And I'm even going to have to erase my board. Oh my goodness, erase the board. Thanks. So here's what we're going to do. Oh, this beautiful board. I've come to identify, I've bonded with these things on here. Okay. So I want to teach you guys the fan funnel. And this is a big part of the attraction model, right? So what you got to know first in the funnel of starting at the most basic of basics is it's all about impressions. Okay, impressions. And the key to impressions is exposure. So what is an impression? Impression is, you know, someone drives past a billboard, they saw the billboard, that was an impression. They drive past the park bench, they see the ad, that was an impression. You know, they grab a shopping cart and they roll into a grocery store and there's an ad on the shopping cart. That's an impression. You know, they're scrolling through their Facebook feed, their Instagram feed, and they come across an ad. That's an impression. The key to impressions is exposure. The key to impressions is exposure. What are you doing to get more exposure? After impressions comes introductions. Okay? And the key to introductions, okay, is action. People taking action. Okay? So an introduction means they didn't just see the ad, but they called the phone number on the ad. They didn't just see the ad on their screen, but they clicked the ad. They took action, okay? They took action. And then the next one after that is connections. And the key to connections is it's permission-based marketing, which means that they're giving you permission to talk to them. They're giving you their email, they're giving you their phone number, they're giving you all this information, okay? They're giving you permission. That's permission-based marketing. And then that leads to an audience. Okay, that's people sitting in a seat. That's people getting on the phone with you one-on-one, a one-on-one audience. But impressions lead to introductions. Introductions lead to connections, your database and your list. And the connections and database leads to your audience, the people you're actually talking to. There are things that you can do to get more impressions through exposure. There are things you can do to get more introductions through getting them to take action, inspiring them to take action. There are things you can do to get more connections to build your database of opt-ins and fans and followers. There's more people, there's more ways to get them into an audience. I'm just giving you a snapshot. We don't even have time, right? We've got to end this thing. But this is the fan funnel, and this is just one of a handful of funnels that I have. If you would like to get more into the world of attracting and enrolling. So this has been great having me on. Thank you, Bernardo. It's always a pleasure. I'm going to be coming after you for this video for myself. I'm going to have to keep this video for myself here for my insider clients. Oh, I'm not hearing you.
I was saying, I know it was a masterclass there, and you were rushing it at the end, but you managed to, I love what you were doing there. You were teaching them and teaching them what you were teaching them. So you did a great job there. And they want more, David. I know they want more. You've left them hanging there. They want it, obviously.
Yes. Thank you.
No, listen, congratulations. Thank you so much. He's an absolute pro. I highly recommend you work with David. So, David, I know you've shared davidfagan.com, and your book was at?
Yeah, wordgeniusbook.com, wordgeniusbook.com, and at toptalentjv.com, which you're featured on a speaker at. If they want to be a part of that next mastermind, they can actually get that ebook there for free. It's a free download on that event site. So if you want to hear me and Bernardo at some of our breakout mastermind groups that we call Top Talent JV, go to toptalentjv.com, get the book, and maybe even hang out with me and Bernardo in some breakout mastermind sessions someday.
It's a great event. I highly recommend. I've been involved in quite a few. Great connections, great people, great format. Thank you, David. Thank you so much. And thank you, Isabel. You're lovely. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Cheers. Thank you. All right. Well, we got Mas Sadadi joining us very, very soon. It's very exciting. He's one of the highlights of the Best You Expo. Every time he's always got a massive following. We're going to play a very quick commercial about him, but not yet, because what I wanted to talk about was, hey, listen, this is live on the Best You TV. It's live on the Best You TV, and it's, hey, you're watching it. Well, you might be watching a recording. We've got thousands of talks now from the Best You Expo. So just literally go through all the virtual expos we've done, the live events, and you've got such a phenomenal library of content there. And obviously we've got David Fagan. But I wanted to also kind of create awareness that we do have the Best You online. So the The Best You Online is going to become the biggest library of personal professional development content, but not only live talks, because we've got thousands of them from every single expo. We've got thousands of talks. We also have inspiring people interviews, inspiring people talks. We've got NLP live talks. But additionally to that, we've got courses. And we've got so many more courses coming. Literally, pretty much a lot of the speakers, if not all of the speakers that are involved or have been involved in the Best You Expo, are sharing their expertise in the Best You Online. So there's more courses to come. It's going to become a great library for you. So you can find some of the content, a lot of the content on the Best You TV as far as the talks, but as far as all the talks and the courses, you can only find it on the bestyou.online. We're going to play a very quick commercial, give you a bit of an insight of what the Best You Online is all about, because it's going to grow so much in 2021. You're going to love it.
The Best You Online, featuring in-depth interviews, motivational talks, and inspiring masterclasses from the world's top experts, motivational speakers, business gurus, and thought leaders. Leaders and influencers from all over the world are here to share their knowledge and skills with you. The Best You Online is a priceless mine of personal development wisdom, knowledge, and practical information to help you take charge of your life and take you, your business, and career beyond where you have always wanted to go. The Best You Online.
So Netflix, you know, who wants Netflix? What you need is the Best You Online. If we've been doing this, we've been doing this for 6-7 years. We've done the Best You Virtual Expo in London for 4 or 5 years, the Best You Expo in Long Beach in California, Virtual Expo LA, Virtual Expo Miami, and now the Virtual Expo London. Total, 1,000 speakers in so many breakout rooms. We've had Marissa Peer, we've had Jim Quick, Marie Diamond, we've had Paul McKenna, we've had Jason Vale, we've had Dr. Richard Bandler, we've had, oh my God, the just list goes on and on and on. Bill Walsh, we've had obviously David Fagan, we've had Mas Sajadi, we've had him there in quite a few of the expos. We've had such a phenomenal lineup of speakers over the years. Judy May Murphy, Michael Neal, and Lisa Nichols, Les Brown, Jack Canfield. Amazing, amazing content. It's all there. It's all available for you on the bestyou.online. And what we're doing is, well, we've got lots of plans for 2021 and 2022. We're very, very excited. We've obviously reinvented ourselves as a brand quite a few times. And from running big live events, we've gone to virtual. But now we're really going to be focusing on the Best You Online, on the platform. And we're also going to be focusing very much on the television. Now, I've already highlighted and featured some of the people that are already on the Best You TV and some of the content that we have. But one of the things I'm very, very excited about, and I invited a few guests to join me yesterday, we've got a new TV series which is called the Best Series. Yes, we call it the Best Series because we do want to call it the average series. No, the Best You and the Best TV series. And what we're bringing you is we're bringing you the best coaches. We're bringing you the best speakers. We're bringing you the best trainers and the best mentors. So the best coach, and these guys basically are featured individuals that we're going to be highlighting and really interviewing them and presenting to you why they are the best coaches, why they are the best speakers, why they are the best mentors and authors. So that's a series that we got launching in Q1. We've already got at least 12, 15 episodes already in place, in motion. It's all going to be coming soon. But if you're a coach, if you're a speaker, if you're an author, if you want to come across as a professional that is now literally targeting hundreds of millions of people around the world through the Best You TV, well, reach out. This is a very quick intro on what the Best TV series is all about.
People from all over the world are seeking inspiration, looking for answers, looking for ways to become the best version of themselves. And the Best You is launching in 2021 the Best TV series, a place where we will feature the best speakers, coaches, authors, and mentors. Leaders in their own rights, innovators, influencers, inspirers of the 21st century. Coming soon to the Best You TV.
So yeah, that's one of the best series that we have there. But apart from that, we've got the Best You Expo talks. We have the Inspiring People interviews, and we've got the NLP Live Talk. So it's all available there. It's available now. Now, apart from that, we've got other channels which are already in place. And one of them is a Dr. Fab Mancini, Dr. Fabricio Mancini. He is half Colombian. He lives in Texas, in Dallas. And well, he has great connections in the personal development world. But apart from that, he's a doctor, he's a coach. He's worked with Dr. Phil, Nick Vujicic, Jack Canfield. And his show is already live on the Best You TV, and it's called Thriving in the New Normal. It's a series of interviews where he simply kind of asks these amazing experts and leaders, hey, what does it take to thrive? This is a very quick review on what the show is all about.
We are living in unprecedented and uncertain times. Thriving in the New Normal is my new TV show created just for you. Are you aware that while most people are surviving during this new normal, others are thriving like never before? Which one are you? Circumstances have never defined a person. Our responses do. What if you could experience the thoughts and behaviors of some of the most successful people in the world and how they have chosen to respond? Let us help you become the person you were destined to be and not just your current reality. You deserve it. Get ready to thrive. Watch my show now on Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, and Google Play.
Another show we've got coming live in Q1, literally within the next month or 6 weeks, is Nicola Smith-Jackson. Now, Nicola Smith-Jackson. Now, Nicola's speaking tomorrow. Nicola helps individuals literally find ways for them to become financially independent. Not only to become financially independent, but how to make money, how to invest in stock. She's a powerhouse, and she's got great experience in training, coaching so many people to find that financial independence. So we're very happy and excited to have Nicola having her own channel as well. And this is just a very quick intro on her channel, which is coming, as I said, within the next 4 to 6 weeks' time. Thank you. So I'm going to be bringing in my next guest, which is Mas Sadadi, and I'm going to read his bio very quickly, very briefly. But this is being live. It's live right now on the Best You TV. It's also live on Facebook, and it's live on YouTube. But before I actually do a quick intro, can we just play quickly Mas's video, which is just a little highlight of Mas's channel that is coming to the Best You TV. We're very, very excited. Then I'll read his intro and I'll bring him in. Thank you so much.
My passion is to set people free by helping you transform any area of your life more effectively and faster than anything you've tried before. I do this by unique abilities gifted to me through 2 near-death experiences that allow me to help you change your frequency, changing your life.
So very excited. Mas is going to be on the Best You TV coming very soon. So Mas is the founder of Exponential Intelligence, Medimorphosis and Medi-Healing. And it's helped tens of thousands around the world break through challenging situations in their personal and professional lives, so they achieve not only success, but also significance in their lives. Exponential Intelligence is a science-based body of knowledge that Mas has discovered after his second near-death experience, and it explains the secrets to success and happiness from quantum physics, from the quantum physics perspective. The process removes issues at the core of the being, so you can reach your optimum potentially and attain rapid and tangible results. Mas, so happy to have you here again at the Best You Expo.
Thank you so much. How are you, Bernardo?
I'm very good, thank you. I'm very good. Matt, always, people are very excited. We've been getting messages all day about you joining us today and what time are you going to be here. And I've shared your video throughout the last couple of days, quite a lot of times. And I was sharing the anecdote that the Best You Expo in Olympia, which was our biggest one. We did the last one, and kind of how we had to move you because you were causing health and safety issues, which is a
Yeah.
big thing in the UK, because we had you in a room and in a space that literally you could not fit the amount of
Right.
people that wanted to see you.
Yeah,
And then
it's so
I
crazy.
remember you're so generous with your time that not only you were there all day taking care of people, literally walking around your booth, but then I think it was like 10 o'clock at night, you still had people tranced out outside in the street. It
Yeah,
was
on the street, it was crazy. Streets of London, doing
Yeah.
a talk. It was crazy. I remember that very vividly. I'm excited to get back. Yeah, once all this stuff, blows over, to actually have a live event with you guys. That'd be fantastic.
Yeah, well, listen, we're looking forward to it. At the end of this
Yeah,
year or next year, we're going to be ready for it. So, Matt, what are you
definitely.
going to be sharing here today?
Well, I'm going to be talking about the chaos that's happening today, and then how to take advantage of it through a near death experience.
Yeah. Well, listen, Matt, my team have been listening all day. They can't wait. I can't wait. I'm going to be listening
Fantastic.
to you.
All
So,
right.
thank you so much. Take care.
And how much time do I have, Bernardo?
You've got 55 minutes.
55 minutes? Perfect. Okay. Let me set a timer real quick, and then we'll get started. Guys, yeah, for those of you who don't know me, really fantastic journey, the decade or so that I've had. And I just want to talk about, my near death really quick. And it really pertains to the chaos and how we can use chaos to really benefit and focus. And in the past, you've heard that the millionaires, most of the millionaires that have made, most of the success stories that have made, most of the new technologies that have made have been through times of chaos. So if you look back, 1929, the stock market crashed. By the time 1933, 1935, and 1940s, those were really booming years. The reason why is that, it forces humans to really push and see, it's like, shit, this isn't working out. What happened? What's going on? So for those intelligent individuals, or for those who are, say, awakened, those opportunities allow us to look at the black box of history. Now, the black box, if you know, is like, they use it in airplanes, right? Everything is being recorded in that black box. And that airplane crashes, well, they look through the black box and see what happened, and that's why I say the air safety has been really safe these days flying, because they've looked at the black box, they've seen what's going on, and then they resolve the issues that they have. So it's an accurate record of what happened, not a pilot's view of what happened, or the passenger's view of what happened. Because usually in history, throughout history, history has been, say, rewritten by those who have been, say, the winners or the successors, the successful individuals, and it's tainted. But so we really don't know what happened. So the reason why I'm telling you all this is that, well, you have to see things at an accurate level. Remove all the filters, remove all the the garbage, the nuances, how we perceive things, and see them as they are and why they are. Okay. Through my near-death experience, what I can do is not just see at a physical level what happens to you or what happens to your life, but then layers that go very deep. So I look into your black box, and I look at I can see your parents' patterns, your genetic makeup, your not just your parents, your grandparents, and so on like that, to help you see what's going on in your life and see what happened so we can delete it and remove it. So back to my story as far as history goes, those individuals who have been, say, super successful, or have created new technologies and new concepts and new ways of living, well, they're a little more intuitive. They see what's the real reason on why things happen the way they did, and they come up with fantastic solutions. Okay? Today, where we're living now is, I don't want to get into why all this stuff happened. That's a whole different subject. But what we can do to take advantage of the chaos. So in this time in history, there's never been as much chaos as there was ever in the world today. It's been magnified 100 times fold. Again, nothing. And you might go, well, what about this crash? And what about this, and all this? Nope. The consciousness, and it's not about wars. It's not about, and that, you might be, say, comparing that. Well, there was a war going on, World War II, everybody was devastated and so on like that. And that, yes, those are devastating moments in time. Again, chaotic times where we can grow and expand. But in this time and point in history, everybody's being affected, not just those individuals who've been in war. So imagine everybody on this planet has been affected. That's a hell of a lot of chaos. I mean, it's a massive amount of chaos. What can you do with that chaos? Okay? So that's the undertone, or that's the underlying talk that we're going to be doing. On top of that, what we're going to be doing is helping you rewire yourself. So how do I do that? Well, through 2 near-death experiences. I've gone to the edges of consciousness that nobody has ever come back from. Very few ever come back from. So I've gone and traversed, adventured way out on, and I brought back, say, gems of knowledge, tons of information on how this reality works. Because in order to understand a reality or a consciousness, we have to remove ourselves from the situation. Again, that black box, right? We have to remove how we perceive things and then look deep inside. Well, the only way we can get, say, an accurate perspective on our life here today is to remove ourselves from that perspective. The solutions that we find, solid solutions, beneficial solutions, just like those great individuals who created, again, new technologies, massive wealth for themselves. What did they do? They removed themselves from the situation that they were in, and then they saw it from a higher level, a higher order, just like Einstein says, right? You can't find a solution within the same subset or within the same consciousness as, say, the problem. So that's what I've done. But I haven't removed myself from I haven't removed myself just from, say, one layer over. Okay, consciousness is here, or your reality, or how you see your filter here. I didn't go to the next level higher. Okay, I went way the hell out there, way towards, say, the edges again of consciousness, or the higher levels of consciousness, and that's why the solutions I bring to you have massively changed, well, people's lives. The fastest way possible, but massively changed where they get to the point where they don't have to age like their parents do. They don't have to get diseased like their parents or society does. Because those are new concepts that we're bringing in. Okay, so let's take a deep breath in. This is an experiential experience, and some of you might be feeling a little different already, which is really good. So let's take a deep breath in again. So as I speak, I'll be tapping into you all. Okay, whether you're live or listening to this in the future as a recording, I'll be listening to you all. Or again, analyzing you all. That's one of my abilities. I don't have to, say, connect with you physically to help you. I can go down to an individual, say, level just by analyzing you. Take another deep breath in. There we go. As we settle into time and space, you might notice your reference points. Say like the chair or the wall or whatever around you. And then notice your body. Notice any sights, any sounds, any smells that may be around you. Notice your body. We'll make it a working lecture. There we go. It's not a meditation. It's not a hypnosis or anything like that. Just notice what's going on. At these deeper levels, you learn a lot easier. You learn more in depth. My teaching style is not a linear style. So what you might be used to is that, a subject is, we talk about a subject, we close it off, we move on to the next subject. Again, a linear style. My teaching style is more like, we'll take pieces here, we'll take pieces here, we'll take pieces here. That allows your mind to stay open. As your mind stays open, well, you might get a little confused. You might not be certain on what I'm saying, which is totally fine. That's the way, and that's the way it's designed. Just because as your mind stays open, you find, say, the solutions, better solutions than where you were before. Okay? So again, if I jump around, that's my teaching style. It's beneficial for you. It allows you to be more spatial oriented, because your brain is a spatial oriented machine. Okay? In today's society, we've again made it linear, which is very detrimental. If you have kids, by the way, spatial learning is a lot easier, a lot better for them, because they're more used to it. So, so let's take a deep breath in again. So back to our subject is chaos. So back in history, what people have done is that they've analyzed the situation from a physical perspective, from this consciousness perspective. They've analyzed their situations and then come up with better tools. Just like I said, analyzing, say, a black box, right? They see what happened, and then from that, excuse me, from that, what they've done is that, well, we'll make a better mousetrap, or we'll make a better plane, or we'll make a better car, a safer car. But then there's a lot of misinformation with that, okay? Especially in people's lives. So let me give you an example. When you go through, say, I'll give you a couple examples just so it relates to the people. Say in relationship patterns, right? In relationship patterns, what we do is that, we have a breakup, right? Or your mom and dad, from what I see, some of you, your mom and dad gets divorced, or, separate, or somehow they get disconnected through death, a few of you, by the way. So what happens is that you have a vision or a version of how you see relationships now. Okay, you get into your teenage years. You look around. The social climate, how other people, your age group, look at relationships. You can do this with money, by the way, as well. Okay, and then you age. You're in your 20s, you start dating, or in your teens you start dating, your 20s you start dating, you might get married, some of you might have kids and so on, early 20s and so on. Well, those are all filters that you see your relationship from. And then all of a sudden, something happens. Right? That relationship, starts to go into disarray. It crashes, basically, just like that plane. It crashes, and you look at the relationship, and then you look into that black box of the relationship. But the point is, or the problem is, that when you're looking or analyzing and you look back, well, you already have these filters in place. So as you analyze the relationship that you were in, okay, you would look at, say, the facts from a very distorted point of view, right? And that's why you, for example, might look at the relationship in a very different way than, say, your partner that you just broke up from. So why does that happen? It's the same relationship, because you both are looking at it from your filters, the filters that you've created through, again, generational patterns, right? You are, say, 95%, pretty much 95%, and again, I've worked on more than 100,000 people one-on-one. Okay, nobody can say that. I don't care who it is, Tony Robbins, whoever. They might have worked on them as a group level, but not one-on-one. Nobody does that because they just can't. They don't have the propensity, the potential to analyze that many people. The process that I use is very, very different. It's not psychology or anything like that, like I said. So back to the story. So when we have all these filters, we see the experience that happened, and then we create solutions based on the filters and then the experience. And then, well, and then we create another filter because of the experience that happened, right? So we distort the actual facts even more, and then we move on into that next relationship, right? So what we're doing is we're carrying the burdens or the filters again. We analyze or we experience that relationship through all the filters, and imagine all the filters that you have. And it's not just you, it's not just parents, it's just imagine if you were a woman or a man, but we'll use a woman example. Just imagine that you're a woman. In your genetic makeup, okay, and again, I'm opening up all these possible thoughts because XI is very deep. Okay, we have to go to and we're going to the core level issue on why your life has issues, so we can solve them and then we can concentrate it for you to become, say, your highest, best possible self. To be your highest, best possible self, you would have to go to your core level issues, right? So, so imagine that you're a woman or a man, but in this case, I'll use a woman. So, in history, there remember the filters that I talked about, right? I was just giving you one filter: your parents' relationship experience, your parents' relationship experience, and then social structures of your age relationship experience, then your personal relationship experience. So those are filters. So we'll call them filters, or the way you see your life. The way you see those filters is obviously, it dictates on how you experience the rest of your life. But it doesn't stop there. Let's go back. So you have your parents' filters. Again, about 95% of your filters are how you see yourself, including your genetic makeup, how you look, how you age, how your life structure, the diseases that you have, again, inherited from your parents. But that's not all. You go back even deeper to women. Okay, all the experiences that women have had is in you. And that sounds kind of strange. But imagine how evolution works. Because this is about evolution, guys. And that's why, again, opening up different packets, you might go, well, how does that have to do with all the chaos? We'll wrap it up at the end, okay? But just hear me out. So imagine that there's a filter, okay? And just the way you experience life, and then you create filters on how you see things, right? So as humans, we've created a filter on how women should represent themselves. Again, through the age of the times, the culture, the religious aspects, socioeconomic aspects. All those things are, say, tainting or filtering the way a woman would represent themselves here today. So if you were, say, a young girl, you're just born as a young girl, automatically you would see yourself as that individual. You would see yourself as a woman right off the bat, your conceived moment in time, right, in your mom's belly. You don't even have to come into life, right? In your mom's belly, because your mom basically, say, has created an environment dictated by everything that has happened to women, okay? Human women. So those are filters, by the way. And then you're in that environment, you're bathed in that environment. The resonance or the frequencies of your environment, your DNA, starts to react to the environment and adapt to it right away. So it's not just, say, hereditary patterns or DNA patterns that from your mom and dad, but then the environment around you that your mother is in, okay? Which affects relationships as well. So as you get born, right, those become experiential, say, filters or frequencies that you operate from. So the black box that we look at in our society or in our lifetime gets pretty deep. It gets pretty entangled. Imagine all the entanglement. Imagine all the filters that we have, right? And the first filter, by the way, is about time and space, and we're not going to get into that aspect of it. It's just way too much science. But the filter of being a human, and then again, culture, time frames, sexual identity, and then all the experiences that your family lineage has had right down to you. That's a lot of filters that you're looking your life through. Okay, the importance of that is the chaos today that we're experiencing is that, well, there's so many filters in between, say, humans and then your true identity, that the system is breaking down. So you might think that you might think that it's just random, happenstance, or I don't know, a deep state situation, or the elites trying to control you more, and so on. And yes, it could be, but we're not going to talk about that. What we're talking about is that at a higher level, from what I see, and again, a much higher level, this consciousness has gotten corrupt. And again, it's not about the people who are corrupt. Okay? It's about the filters that we see ourselves as human. Like your computer, right? If it's got way too many viruses, it's just not going to frickin' work out well, right? It's too damaged, it's too burdened, it runs a lot of resources. That's what's happened to the human filter. We're not, say, as pure beings. We're not as, say, clean and or pure from, say, a man's standpoint, or nor a woman's standpoint, especially not a human standpoint. All those things have been in disarray, or a cumulative total is starting to, say, break down. So the infrastructure of you being here, creating yourself here, has starting to break down. Okay, and that's the chaos, with the masks and all that stuff. That's a representation. Okay, that's an after effect on why it's happening. It's not the cause. Right? Just like your relationships, your next relationship, for example, in the example I gave you, right? What you say do is an after effect, or how you say experience the next relationship after that breakup is an after effect of what happened before you, right? So the same thing with the chaos in today's world, whether it's the vaccines, whether it's all that stuff that's around, whether it's the financial systems, breaking down, the religious systems, and everything. If you've noticed, it's not just one system. It's not just about healthcare. It's all aspects. Your whole identity, okay? From the top levels, say elites, governments, and so on, that control the masses, down to your individual being. Every filter that you know as, say, a human has been, say, distorted or disoriented or, well, fucked up. Simple as that. It's been messed up. So, and that's why you're feeling, say, the insecurities, the distortions, the incompleteness. You want more security, but then there's people who have, millions and billions of dollars, and they're very insecure. There's people who don't have any money, and they're very insecure. So it's not the money. It's not your social economic status that is going to keep you secure, because that's not where security comes from. That's not where security comes. That's an after effect. Again, it's like you having a terrible relationship, okay? Or I'll give you another example. Say you're an alcoholic, okay? You're an alcoholic, and then what you do is that, well, I'm not going to be an alcoholic. I'm going to lock all my liquor in a locker so I can't get to it. Well, you're still an alcoholic. You're just like not refraining by locking everything up. So that's what we've done in today's society. We've locked everything up, right? You can't do this, and that's why there's an increase in laws and so on like that to again dictate or say dominate to protect us. But it doesn't really protect us. It just destroys us even more. So let's take a deep breath in. I know we're going deep, but that's okay. I'm just sensing the group, and this is what we need to hear. Take a deep breath in again. Just notice your solar plex area, your chest, your organs. There you go. And again, notice how you're feeling. So what you're seeing, or what you're experiencing, most likely, is that you're starting to, say, observe yourself from a removed version of yourself. And it's not like a cognitive feeling that you're experiencing. It's a state of being that you're experiencing. So your state of being, if you were, say, submerged in a pool, or you're in a pool of water, right? You wouldn't know the difference if you've been there for an hours, right? You would be one with the water. But if you step out of the water and then look at it, you'd know the difference. The thing is that you've been submerged or intermingled with your, say, reality, or that pool of reality, for so long, you think it's just you. It's not. Okay, so in this talk and in this session, I'm helping you separate yourself, or again, walk away from your identity, and that's what you're feeling or you're experiencing, especially in the, say, the midsection for the most of you. Some of you are in the head area. Those who are, say, controlling or fearful, you're trying to, say, control the situation and so on. Again, by using, say, logic. Your logic again is of that same consciousness or that same reality. So it's not going to work out. So just the best way to do it is observe. Okay. So let's take a deep breath in, and we'll continue on. See how much time we've got. Because I want to get to the good stuff for you. The explanations are, fantastic. And you can find out more on, say, the lecture series that I do, or Moss on Sundays, which is a free talk. This week, by the way, it'll be on trust. And all the fallacies behind trust. And how actually it's detrimental. And then how you can actually bring true trust, real trust that is beneficial for you, right? So what do we do with all that? So in the past, what happens is that there's a lot of chaos. You hear it through the media, you hear it through, your friends, your family. You can sense it. You can literally, say, taste it. You can cut it with a knife. The chaos or the uncertainty is so thick. You walk into the store and you can see people like insecure, incomplete. They question every aspect of themselves, including their identity, right? Because we're all fearful. We're all fearful of that stuff. We're fearful of not just, diseases or anything like that, but we're fearful of being human. Actually, it goes that deep. That's the psychology behind it, which is sad. All those things have to break. So how do you benefit from that? So what most, or what the masses do, is that they experience all those things around them, and then they react to those things around them. And that's the problem. They react to it. So as we take a deep breath in, some of you are kind of breaking down, which is good, by the way. So imagine, it's always a reactionary, say, consciousness here in this reality, right? Something dictates something. The government dictates something, whether it's a real virus, not a real virus, whether it's a fake pandemic, whether it's a fake story, whether it's a real story. It doesn't really matter. It's a reactionary system. It's a reactionary mechanism. You can never feel safe or complete. You can never be wealthy or abundant in that state of being, or in that state of consciousness. You can never be. You go, well, I'll just make more money. You again, look at all the people who have a shitload of money, and I work on those individuals, by the way. They're not any happier or more complete or more secure than anybody else. They might have even made more money this year than anybody else, but then again, very incomplete, very insecure, very unsure, because the consciousness that we're going into, again, the system, like I said, is breaking apart. It has to break apart, right? It's too burdened by all these filters. None of those secure mechanisms are going to make you feel secure. They never did in the past. They were a facade. They were fake security, just like your love life, just like your, again, relationships, your health, your wealth, and all that. Again, if you look at it, many of you affluent or middle income, you're still feeling that insecurity, right? So again, it didn't really help. Not being affluent didn't help either. So as those filters start to break down, not just for you, but for everybody else, right? Everybody, say, jumps into that reactionary, say, period, or the reactionary state, and they feed the flame, they feed the fire. Okay? What you want to do, or what those individuals that actually, say, turned it around, right, and became successful. We go even deeper on that because, again, like I said, when you look into your relationships, and remember I talked about relationships, right? You talked about relationships, you're reacting to what happened through the filters that you see. And then you create that next relationship according to the filters. But what we're doing here is that we're starting to observe. That's the one key, and that's that near-death perspective that I'm helping you bring in. So those high-level individuals that really are, say, genius levels and so on, and really see things from a different. All genius is literally is seeing an ordinary situation from a very different type of lens, right? And they come up with a different solution. So basically, what that is, again, they see that situation from a different level of consciousness that allows different solutions, and they bring it into this consciousness. That's simple. We're doing that same thing. So what we do with XI, which is exponential intelligence, exponential intelligence is a body of knowledge that I've say sorted and cataloged, and it's not just about talk. It's not psychology or anything like that. It's about, say, editing or rewiring you at a frequency level. So it's a body of knowledge that I use. It's a timeless body of knowledge. It's been around. It's basically the physics of how this life works. You have, say, the physical physics, right? Or quantum mechanics or quantum physics. You know, it shows you how gravity works, electromagnetism works, and all that stuff, right? And we do well with it, right? We're not going to jump off a building going, well, gravity is not working for me. Right? We abide the laws of gravity, for example. If we abide the laws of, say, what I would call pure physics, or what I've labeled XI, exponential intelligence physics, we would be really abundant. We would be, say, really wealthy. We would be complete, no matter what you're doing. If you're running or abiding by those laws, those physical principles, or if you want to call it spiritual principles, because it does go into, say, the non-time identity of who you are, you'd be very wealthy, very abundant. So as we take a deep breath in, coming back to our story, most individuals, again, as chaos rises or anxiety rises, you rise with it. Okay, because you have to find a solution, or you want to find a solution to stay away from it. But what XI does is that, and we'll go into this little practice in just a few minutes on how to do that. What XI does is that it observes the chaos around you. It separates the chaos around you in different layers for you. And I'll explain the different layers, and then we'll go into an exercise. So remember that I said we're a reactionary being. Okay? We dictate our safety and security by our outside or external references. Okay? The level of money you have is an outside reference for you to feel safe. Okay? The level of, say, love that you have from somebody else is an outside reference for you to feel safe internal. The level of, say, health that you have, again, is an outside reference because you go, well, I need to eat healthy, I need to diet, I need to exercise, I need to take my medications, I need to I don't know, do whatever. Again, those are outside reference points. If you don't eat healthy, say, for example, you don't feel well. Okay, and I know you're going to push me on that example, but again, just hear it out. Let's take a deep breath in. So your state of being level, basically, or being happy, or being joyous, or being abundant, being successful, is outside references. So if the outside references become chaotic to you, no matter what level of, say, socioeconomic or whatever that you have, right, becomes chaotic to you, you're going to become chaotic internally. Okay? So XI flips that around. Your reference point becomes you. Okay? Again, we flip that around. Well, how do we do that? Well, your internal mechanism for success is in you. By the way, just going back, your level of money, the more money that you have, you in today's society, you would go, well, the more successful that you would be, or the more, say, buoyant, the more, say, the more sane you will be, the more stable you would be. But how many people do you know entertainers, for example, right? Fortune, fame, they've got the looks, they've got everything, but shit, they're fucked up. They're addicted, abusive relationships, and so why aren't they, complete? Why aren't they balanced? Again, because those outside reference points, as you become more and more successful, and this is another problem with, say, outside reference points of success, as you become more and more successful, wealth becomes a magnifier for you. It reflects back the weakness that you are. So that's why, again, wealth never, say, succeeds or provides, say, security or success or true wealth. I call it spherical wealth. That's the problem. Again, outside reference points determining where you are. And in today's society, it gets even worse. The value that you output determines where you are. That value is based on how much money you make. That value is your hourly, say, self-worth, right? You only make 15 bucks an hour. Your value of yourself goes way down. Your value, and there was a great example. There was a professor, he had a $5 bill. Okay. He had a $5 bill, or imagine a $100 bill, it doesn't really matter. And he crumpled it up. And he asked the students, it's like, well, how much is this worth? And the students go, well, it's $5 bucks. It's like, okay. He threw it on the ground, and he stomped on it, and he goes, well, and he picked it up, and he goes, well, how much is this worth? It's like, well, it's $5 bucks. What are you talking about? But when humans, you have an innate, limitless value of who you are. And that, again, that's your limitless potential deep inside you. You are priceless. Right? But if you equate yourself to an outside perspective on your value, again, it's just like that $5 bill. You get stomped on, you get pushed around, whatever it might be. Your value is still limitless. You're priceless. But you've attached a value mechanism on an outside dictated by other people around you. It doesn't work out that well, especially when things go into chaotic times, right? That's what we're feeling. What's even worse now in today's world, okay, and got 18 minutes. What's even worse in today's world is that the real value of money is coming forth. So if you're based on, your value mechanism is based on money, okay? And that's what everybody values themselves on, right? Money. You look at somebody wealthy, it's like, wow, they've got it all, right? I want to be like them. You really don't. I know a lot of them. You don't want to be like them. You want to be something better, spherically abundant, okay? They might have that little piece of the pie, but not all of the pie. So as we take a deep breath in, notice your spine. Again, noticing your spine. What's happening today is, transparency is coming out. Okay, and that's why there's so much control over, say, your data, everything that you do, because, again, transparency is coming out. Everything is opening up. So, again, that's another talk. But the real value, again, the transparency of the value of money is coming forth. Okay? And that's the problem. That's the issue. The value of money, the dollar today is lost 92% of its value since the origination of the Federal Reserve. And I know this goes out of topic, but again, important for you. So, but it's never shown that way, right? People, a car back then was worth, you buy like $400 and that was a really good car. Now you pay $100,000 and it's a good car. So again, in those structures, although nobody sees it that way, again, I see it from a very high level, you're paying $100,000 for a car back in the day that should have been like $400. The reason why is that the car hasn't improved from a $400 to a $100,000 car. The reason why is because the value of the money that you're buying your car has decreased by 92%. Okay. Yes, there's better technologies. There's all that. It's a better car, of course. But again, it's not the price of the technology that your car, your house, your phone, your whatever, your food. Okay. Look at your food. Okay. It's worse food today than it has ever been from yesterday, but it costs you more. You might go, well, more. No, it's nothing to do with that. The value of a dollar has reduced itself. So what's happening in today's society at the bigger picture or the chaos is that the value is showing through. Okay? So those people who have a ton of money or those people who don't have a ton of money, it doesn't matter. Your self-worth is based on an outside, again, external object. In this case, money. Okay? Today's society, right? Today's God, money. Well, if the true value of it has shown itself, what happens to your value? Sucker went down, right? And then let's not talk about the $8 trillion that they printed and all that stuff. It was 92% devalued, and then you place on another 8 trillion, so it's literally worthless. So what happens to most people's identity or self-worth? They become worthless. Especially for those who are, say, billionaires, trillionaires, and all those stuff. All those, you think they have it better. They don't. They don't have it any better. Again, like I said, it's a magnifier. So in the future, you'll see a lot of strange deaths. It's already happened, by the way. Not because they're ill, not because they're old, not because of anything like that. Because, well, they're valueless. Right? And you'll see that they want to, say, escape. So anyway, another subject. So what do we do about all this? Well, from XI perspective, and it's not just theory. People, even now, as the chaos has gotten higher, people, that practice XI. XIers, they come to me and they go, Mas, should I be worried? Because all my friends are all messed up. They're really anxious about everything. They're worrying about everything. We see all this news and stuff like that. But why am I feeling so stable? Why am I feeling so complete? And why am I getting more stronger, more complete as the day goes by? And I'm thinking, well, it's because your value system is internal. Your self-worth is internal. Your innate, priceless price tag that you have on yourself, that's coming forth. You actually know the value of who you are. And that's what we're going to do here on the remaining time that we have. Let's take a deep breath in. And obviously, it's just the start. We can go deeper into, the XI lecture series, or personal session, or the 18 days that we're doing. That'll help you. 18 days to radically transform all aspects of your life. And yes, it does work in the 18 days. So as we take a deep breath in, let's help you switch your value mechanism back to your original state, not dependent on outside or not dependent on who loves me or not. Because many of you that I see, if you don't have a relationship, you feel worthless, or you're not adding to society. So like that $5 bill, you're still worth the same, right? Value. As we take a deep breath in, notice your groin area. Let's reset your internal mechanism or your self-worth. So how do you benefit from the chaos? It goes way beyond those individuals who become successful from chaos and so on. I'll show you that in just a few minutes here. I just have to help you reset your value mechanism. By the way, once you set your value or reset your value mechanism, those who are, successful, those who have their identity based on their success, based on their wealth and so on, will probably feel, as a result of this, valueless. And that's a good thing. This is different, okay? Or those, those who have created mass success and their identity is a success, right? Their identity is based on their success, or their self-worth is based on their success, or their self-worth is based on money. So once you switch over, you won't be impressed with the success that you've created. Again, valueless. And that's a good thing in this scenario because you have a way out. So you get to see the true worth of who you are. That's why it's so important. Okay? So with any chaos, it forces us to see the trueness of the situation. And that's how XI handles it. We don't add more filters to it. We allow or we use the chaos not to add filters to it. For example, you're having a fearful experience. You don't add more fear onto you, right? You don't add more security onto you to protect you from fear. Doesn't work out. What XI does is like, fuck, how do I increase myself? How do I expand myself, become stronger, so when that fear comes up, I see it, but it doesn't affect me, it doesn't destroy me. I don't even have to protect myself from it. That's where you want to be, right? You don't want to keep creating, say, armor after armor, and that's what most people do in chaos. With XI, it's like, no way. That's not going to happen. I'm just going to get freaking stronger from this. So as we take a deep breath in, notice your skin all the way around. In all the spaces that you don't pay attention, your earlobes, your armpits, your the webbings in between your fingers. Again, that's your skin. So notice all the details of your flesh. It's highly important. You don't have to know why. It's just we don't have time. So the reason why you start to feel valueless once you switch, and again, I work with a ton of successful people. They go, shit, what I've done in my past is meaningless. And it is. Because it's redefining itself. And the reason why is that who your identity is, again, society, the identity of who you think you are, is only 1% of who you are. So if you think this reality is all that there is, well, you could have been like 100% of success in your 1% reality. Again, it's 1% of who you are. The other 99% is untapped potential for you. So you've created mass success in the 1% that you are, right? So imagine yourself, you're a seasoned athlete, but you've got this huge weight that you're dragging, and you've done really well for yourself compared to many others, right? That are dragging that weight, or maybe heavier, less, or whatever. But again, you're ahead of the pack by your, say, success mechanisms that you've done. But then imagine that I said, hey, let me take this weight off you that you've been dragging behind, right? That weight has, say, pulled 99%. Again, that weight have pulled you back 99%. Of your strength is taken by pulling that weight, let's say, for example. Now I clip that off for you. How much more powerful you'd be. What you've done in the past would seem minimal compared to your potential if you didn't know that that weight was on you. That makes sense to you? So that weight was on you, and you still created success using only 1% of you. Now what I'm saying is like, shit, let's remove this weight. And now you've got 99% more potential that you've added on like that. So what would you think, say your time was really good, whatever time it is, right? You ran a certain distance in a certain time, and it was really good compared to all the others, but then you had this huge weight on you. And what if you remove that weight? What would your time be? It'd be hell of a lot better than with the weight on you, right? So the same thing here, your potential that you based yourself on, now you see your real potential coming through. And that's very different. And you go, holy crap, what I achieved is nothing compared to what I can achieve. So in a short time, you'll turn that around, and the success mechanisms that you've had to get to your achievement, you'll start to use it to, say, access the 99% potential that you have. So as we take a deep breath in, so how does this chaos help you then? Right? Well, it's like, because that's what the talk was about. It's like, how do you focus that chaos to help you maximize your potential. Well, one, we had to say bring out your potential first to do it properly. As we take a deep breath in, now what happens is that there's a lot of energy within that chaos. Most people don't know how to, say, focus that energy that comes into them. Okay? And just to give you a simple example, say there's a person that's really angry at you. You can feel their frequencies, their presence, their essence just like dominates you, right? There's two types of anger, but we'll just use the one that is an explosive anger. So with that in mind, you adapt to their frequency to calm them down or anything like that, right? So you dissipate their energy. But anger is a powerful experience. It's a powerful emotion, and I know that many individuals, self-improvement gurus and all that, those people, they go, well, you have to be in your happy place, you have to get rid of anger and all the negative emotions. XI does it the other way. Because it's very powerful. Negative emotions are very powerful. Fear, look at the situation that you're in today. They didn't use love or desire or protection. They used fear. Simple as that. They use fear, they use worry, they use lack, any sort of advertisement and all that. Hurry before supplies end, limited quantities, limited time offer, limited whatever, right? Those are all fear tactics. So again, powerful emotions. The church uses fear, the devil uses fear, and fear, sense of loss, and all those things. So why not you use fear? Right. Again, most self-improvement people, what do? They go, no, you got to stay away from that stuff and go towards love. It's very menial compared to the power that the negative emotions have. So you have a hell of a lot of negative emotions around you, right? And then you're trying to escape into your happy place. So that's the second ingredient that we use. One, referencing outside references, flipping it into an internal reference. And then two, using those powerful emotions that move people. If you've looked at most success stories, there's been a point in time where they've been pushed so much, okay? Whether they've been broken, they've been shoved, into a corner, and then they rise, right? Even people who do things out of love. What is it? It's the fear of, say, loss of that individual. Again, that's why they do it, for love, right? Although the love might be that attractant, but the propulsion mechanism was, again, the loss of that individual or the lack of something lacking for that individual. Simple as that. So they use that as a propulsion mechanism. Again, negative emotions. So in this scenario, or back to the anger example, so a better way of focusing that anger, again, instead of dissipating it or taking it in like many people do, what happens is that anger is so powerful, right? You've got an angry person yelling at you, and you just focus in on yourself. What most people do is that they're here, the angry person is here, and what do? You expand yourself into the world of that angry person, and you get dislocated, disoriented, especially if you absorb people's, garbage, right? And it disorients you for a while, or you get taken over by them. That's what's happened to the masses, right? The chaos, the anger, the frustration, the not knowing, whatever it is, right? That's a lot of, say, negative frequencies around you. So how do you handle that? So what you do is you focus in on yourself. Okay? So going back to the other example, you have an angry person. It's you. Don't worry about what they're doing. Okay? Focus in on a body part. I know it sounds crazy, okay? But through the 18-day meditations that we do and so on like that, again, more than a meditation, it's a powerful experience because it changes your reference points. And what happens is that instead of like exploding and dissipating and getting in disarray, what happens is that you become like a diamond. That pressure that you feel once you acknowledge your skin, that pressure that you feel, say, concentrates you more. Again, just like massive pressure that turns coal or whatever it is, carbon into diamond, right? That's what happens, right? Massive pressure, negative pressure, or is it? So things like that get redefined. Many people crave chaos to create, say, the diamond that they are. I don't like to use that example because diamonds don't shine, they reflect. So that I don't like to go, you're a diamond in the rough, or you're a diamond, because, again, they don't have their own light. They have to have an outside light to reflect, right? This creates your internal light, and then you shine, okay? Which is very different, by the way. So let's take a deep breath in. So in this scenario, as you, say, learn to focus in on yourself, the pressure of that angry person, or in this case, human consciousness, the human society, that pressure pushes you. And it's really amazing because you feel great. And it sounds kind of crazy, but as they can't penetrate you, what happens is that it pushes out, or it squeezes out, the negativity that's in you, the hereditary patterns that I talked about. That's why I talked about them. The hereditary patterns, the disillusionment, it goes down so far as changing your DNA. Okay, people's, and I say that because people's, structures change. They don't look like their parents anymore. Or, women who have a masculine identity, they have masculine features, they turn back into, say, a woman, and so on. So all those things, again, those things that aren't you, with that massive pressure around you, starts to, say, squeeze that you're not. And you become filtered. You become all the filters that you have. Again, you purify yourself. And that's how we can use, again, all that pressure or all that chaos to push all that garbage out of you. You become a pure, concentrated version of yourself. And then when that happens, you naturally are abundant. You resonate complete abundance, your natural state of being, by the way. Your outside environment starts to reflect the shininess or the brilliance that you are. So again, it's the shininess isn't out here coming onto you. That's a diamond. Again, it needs an object outside of themselves, right? This is where you shine, and then your light shines on, your health, your relationships, your money. So within the next few minutes that we have, let's take a deep breath in. Whether you want to close your eyes now or, within the next few seconds, it's totally up to you. And let me help you see the brilliance that you are. Notice it's not a guidance or anything like that. I'm just helping you generate frequencies. I'm helping you generate your own frequencies of creating your own light, your own brilliance. So there's no words needed. Breath in again. There we go. Let's help you anchor this new brilliant identity. Just notice the base of your spine. And then notice how you're feeling. Probably the grandness that you're feeling. Some of you might be feeling the grandness inside you, but then also feeling all the garbage that's around you and your identity, your memories, and so on. Focus in on the brilliance and the grandness that's coming through. It might be just a little speck for some of you. Some of you, you're feeling it all over. Again, it depends on how much garbage that you've got. So focus in on, say, the brilliance, or that blossom, or that seed that's blossoming. There we go. Will help lock you in or anchor that into you. So when you get into frustrating times or anxious times, go back to that anchor. Just focus in on that anchor. You'll start to see, say, better solutions come up for you, better ideas. Ideas that bypass the cognitive state that you're in, and it goes into your body brain, or your higher brain, if you will. Note as you peel away your identity and reverse your identity, or your reference point of your identity. Obviously things have to change. So confusion, frustration by others, frustration where you are, and so on like that. It's really fantastic. Okay, all you have to do is observe that. You don't have to react to it, because you're reacting from your old self. So as you observe it, the frustration, the whatever that you're going to experience with people and places, your situation in life, again, those are all negative emotions that you don't have to resolve. As you observe it, what'll happen for you is that your brain, your identity, will find a better, your 99% or your higher self will find a better solution. That's why you're getting frustrated, because you already know that the environment that you exist in is not working for you. So your brain will find, hence, confusion, because your brain is finding a different solution for you, a higher level solution for you. Okay. If you need help, by the way, because it is intense, this one session, say like people have gone through 2 or 3 decades of therapy, 1 or 2 sessions with me is, say, the value of 2 or 3 decades of therapy. That's how fast it is, and it's so that's why it's very intense. Okay, so. All right, guys. Again, if you need more information about me, mossajati.com. Moss on Sundays, Central Time. It's at 10:15, where I actually show you my abilities that I teach you. I can teach you as well, because we all have the same abilities. I read people, or I analyze people, and go to the core level issue on why they have the issues that they do. You don't have to tell me anything about you. You don't even have to tell me your name. I don't have to take a look at a picture of you. I can just see exactly what's going on, and not just see what exactly is going on, but help you, say, rewire that within that time frame. And then we go into the deep science on how things really work. On love, money, wealth, jealousy. In this case, it's trust. We're going to go into plant medicines next couple of weeks as well. The science behind plant medicines and how to do it right if you're into that stuff. So, I don't know where Bernardo is, but is he around?
I'm here, Matt.
Perfect timing, my friend.
Yeah, good. Listen, I've been listening to the whole thing, and I've got to say, I was like, I'm so relaxed. I don't know what
awesome.
you do, but you do amazing stuff.
Thank you, my friend.
$1 million after listening to you. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, guys.
As always, Matt, I'm very, very excited about what we're going to be doing on television to get this to as many people as possible.
Totally.
And very excited to have you here. Thank you so much. We've had so many people, obviously, as always, loving what you do. So thank you.
Thank you much. Take care. Peace, guys.
Mass, as always, he brings a lot of people with him, and he's just, I don't know, I don't know what he does, but it's extremely powerful. I always feel great, and it's very difficult to be here now to carry on presenting. But look, it's been an amazing day. We've had great speakers throughout the day in the Empowering Women room, in the Masters, Mentors and Influencers, and here on the main stage. I want to thank everyone that's been involved today. I want to thank my producers, my host. I want to thank all the speakers, obviously, and everyone, all of you that are watching here today. We've got an amazing day tomorrow too. Please join us. Remember, we're giving away prizes, over $100,000 in great goodies, coaching lessons, books, training, all sorts of opportunities with pretty much a lot of the speakers, if not all of the speakers, have contributed something. So join us tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, we have Lisa Nichols. Lisa Nichols is in the house, Judy Mae Murphy. We've got Didi Wong. We just have panels throughout the day as well tomorrow, and also more talks happening in the Masters, Mentors and Influencers. So thank you so much. We're going to leave with a commercial, and then we're going to leave playing a documentary that we've got from my friend Jason Vale. But to start with, we'll do a quick commercial, and then I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you so much. Have a lovely day. Take care. Lots of love.
Who will impact the world next? The speakers at our very first Best Youth Global, that's who. Are you a young powerhouse between the ages of 8 and 20? Then this expo is just for you. Join us on June 12th and 13th as a global influencer or global innovator and share your story, your influence, your journey to make and market your creativity. Or just share your inspiration. All speakers will have automatic access to the Best Gen Zone. This is where the Best You Expo has free offerings and discount coupons just for your generation. For more information and to register as a speaker, go to thebestyouexpo.com today.
I've seen family members beyond suffer at the hands of disease. I've lost family members at the hands of disease. My mum as an example, which I find incredibly difficult to talk about. And the reason why I'm doing this documentary comes down to my mum. I've got no brothers, I've got no sisters, I've got no father, I didn't know him. You know, my mum was my mother, my father, my brother, my sister, my world, and she's now no longer with us. She actually had stage 4 lung cancer, and they said she had COPD, and they gave her an asthma pump. Even if the doctor thought she had COPD, I thought there has to be another way. Instead of the asthma pump, let's get to the cause of the problem instead of treating the symptom. My mother saw this place before it was built. We stood here, we looked over, and she said, you have to build this. This may be too late for me, but you have to build it so that people have somewhere to go that actually is a place where people can heal. And I vowed that, look, if there's anything I can do to evoke change, to try and help somebody at all, say, look, you know, maybe there is another way. And that's what we're going to find out.
We're seeing an increase in cancer and diabetes.
It doesn't matter now that you're 10 years old or 80 years old. It's all ages are plagued with very serious illnesses.
It's getting more and more dangerous and more difficult to keep your defenses up.
We're chronically over-toxified. We've got toxins, the medications we're taking, the toxins in all the food supply and the water supply.
The lifelong medications that cause lifelong side effects or adverse events in millions and millions of people.
There's no question in my mind that we're not winning the war on chronic disease.
We're at a crisis point, and if something doesn't change, all of these diseases are going to continue to escalate.
Hello, Jason. I'm going already. Crohn's disease. That's what I have. Crohn's disease. Oh, I'm so stupid. I just can't believe I'm crying so much. Majority of my life I've spent kind of ill, sick. You know, I think it's a very, very difficult thing to live with. Just affected every single aspect of my life.
My number one problem is I have ulcerative colitis. I don't take medication for it because all the medications that they prescribed me had steroids, and basically I started getting cataracts in both my eyes.
I tell you what this shows me, how many people the medical intervention is not working. It's just clearly not working.
All of this stuff is clearly not natural and shouldn't be happening to a 26-year-old.
Now, on a daily basis, if you have a look just here, these are some of the medications I take. I'm now carrying 135 kilos, and I cannot carry this weight.
There are so many massive issues to deal with.
I have a very long list of ailments. I can say, honestly, I have not felt well for 25 years. I don't see that changing. I need to try, but at my age, who knows how that's going to go.
I don't know if super juicing is going to work for you. I don't know, but you can't not try.
I'm very overweight, and I've tried everything I can to lose weight.
You represent so many people out there as well.
I need to do this for my health, for my children. The last thing I'm going to try will be weight loss surgery. Please, pick me. I've tried everything.
To be able to be in a position where there's a chance that this experiment could possibly help even one of them, then it's been worthwhile. In fact, you cannot watch any of these videos and not care deeply. Well, they're here. The super juicers have arrived in the middle of nowhere in Portugal, here at Juicy Oasis, where they're going to embark on a journey of having nothing but freshly extracted juice for 28 days as part of my big juice experiment.
My name is John Zor. I'm 29 years old. I got ulcerative colitis, which is an autoimmune disease. I'm a 29-year-old who should be having the time of my life, should be able to do all sorts of things. And I feel, honestly, I feel like I'm 60 years old. I can't do normal things, or I don't want to do them because I feel like if I go out, I'm going to be sick. And it's just not fun.
My name's Estelle. I'm 26. When I was 17, I developed asthma. I get really shaky after I take my inhaler. I don't see that as being a definite solution or a cure of any sort. It's just, it's gonna help you with the shortness of breath, but in all, it's not gonna help you with the asthma. It's just gonna help you get through the day, not through the whole month or life.
Hi, I'm Betsy Pauley. I will be 52 next week. I have a long list of problems. Started with lupus about 23 years ago. I don't know what it is to feel good. Like if you were to ask me today, I would tell you that I feel good. But my good is not your good. Because you can look healthy. I mean, you walk around, you get the job done. I mean, being a mother, you always get the job done.
I'm Roger Gale, I'm 67 years old. I've got sleep apnea, so I have to wear a breathing machine at night. I have hyperglycemia, and worst of all, I have lupus. I know that there are many, many people in far more unfortunate circumstances than I am, but I've been relatively healthy and active for all of my life without any illness. So it's come as a horrible shock to me. And the worst aspect is that I cannot do all of the things that I plan to do.
My name is Sarah Crosby. I'm 22. I was diagnosed with Crohn's disease when I was 10. It can affect any part of the digestive system, anywhere from the mouth to the back passage. Unfortunately, I have it kind of everywhere. I'm a big believer in the fact that fruits and vegetables can help you, like 100%. So if that didn't happen and my Crohn's got worse, it would really hit home, I suppose, that, you know, that maybe I will be on medication for the rest of my life.
My name is Lewis. I'm 22 years old. I've got problems with my weight and being able to walk and things like that. I use food as a massive blanket. I use it when I'm happy. I use it when I'm sad. I use it as rewards. I use it as everything. It's so annoying because I don't want to be addicted to food.
I'm Erica, I'm 33 and my weight is my first problem on my piece. So running around after the children, I can't really do that because of my size. We should be able to go out at the weekends at the park. I can't. I've got two beautiful kids that need their mum, and I just feel like I'm letting them down.
My name is Andrew Morris. I'm 51. I suffer with a condition called pulmonary sarcoidosis. I've also got asthma to go along with it, paradoxical atrial fibrillation, sleep apnea, and type 2 diabetes. It's weird for people to understand, but I can go to sleep and I'll dream of waking up and just not taking tablets.
I originally planned to have 6 of them, but after seeing all their videos come in, there was no way that I could only pick 6. So there's 8 of them here. They have 22 different diseases between them, and it's going to be really interesting to see what happens to all of those diseases and to them mentally and physically when they're just living on juice for 28 days. So if the medical profession seems unable to effectively treat these guys, why do I think I can help? Well, I have a theory, and it all starts with a fish. Think of a fish living in natural, clean, nutrient-rich water. The chances are it will live a disease-free life. But what would happen to the fish if you pollute the water? If you poured, say, cola into the bowl, or some salty potato chips, or greasy fatty foods like burgers and pizza? What do you think is going to happen? Well, all living creatures have a natural filtration system that can handle a certain amount of just about anything. But if you keep adding more and more junk into the water, the body's going to start to struggle. The poor fish is going to start showing symptoms of disease. It might get a skin condition. It might get asthma. It might become fat or obese. Perhaps it gets a headache or a cough. It might get arthritis and can't move its fin so well. Whatever symptoms it has, these are simply warning lights telling the body there's something wrong. So what's the best way to treat the fish? Medical intervention might suggest that you give it medicine to treat the headache, or different medicine to stop it coughing, or further medicine to help the fish move its fin, and perhaps even more medicine to treat some of the side effects that the first medicine has created. That might treat the symptoms temporarily, but even the medicines themselves add pollution to the bowl. It seems painfully obvious to any rational thinking person what the solution is. Would you want to give the fish more medicine? Of course you wouldn't. The answer is so simple. If you want to treat the cause of the problem, you need to clean the water. So that's effectively what our super juicers are here to do, to clean the terrain where their cells bathe, to clean the water, in other words. It's that simple.
All chronic degenerative diseases are caused by 2 and only 2 major problems: toxicity and deficiency.
We are living in an overtoxic world, and we're living in
at a time where we're also consuming foods that are devoid of nutrients. And as that toxicity and deficiency becomes manifest in our body, it results in disease.
We have to detoxify and flood the body with nutrients.
So it makes sense to me that we should address the toxicity and we should replenish the nutrients in our bodies if we're looking to heal ourselves.
Once you understand the cause, you got the answer for the cure.
The thing that got me into juicing was the fact that it just made so much sense. It was for me the perfect way to get live nutrition going into my body, because even to this day I still don't like certain vegetables. I hate broccoli with a passion, I'll be honest. I mean, you got to remember, I was a junk food addict. I had a massive sweet tooth. So to go from that to broccoli, as you can imagine, my taste buds didn't really want to know. And even to this day, I read a book that said that all fruits and vegetables was full of over 85% pure organic liquid fuel. And it's only this fuel essentially that fed the body, and it's rapid nutrition into the cells. And the idea of rapid nutrition going into my cells really appealed to me. And I thought, you know what, if I can't eat them, can I drink them? And I'll be honest, the thought of drinking broccoli juice was even worse for my head than the thought of eating it. But you know what? When you extract the juice and you mix it with a little bit of apple, say a little bit of pineapple, a little bit of pear, add some ginger, and you try different combinations, I got so excited. In fact, I do remember even to this day, the first time I even called my mum. I remember calling my mum, this old juice out of the, I said, Mum, you're never gonna guess what, I'm drinking vegetables.
This has gotta be good for you. It's fresh fruits and vegetables converted into juice right there on the spot. How can you do better than that? Do you see how simple this is? These plants contain all the elements of life and growth in them.
I tell you now, if there is a system that can get me to have vegetables going into my body, then I knew this would work for anybody.
I am absolutely ready for the journey. I mean, it's a journey to health. It's a journey to learning more about what nutrition can do for my body.
This opportunity, this whole thing, it's really, like I said, the mark of a new start, of a new life for me.
I'm kind of scared of a whole month. It sounds like a lot, and people have done it. I just feel like I'm not someone who usually has that type of drive.
If you took the medication out of the equation, I could live a normal life. And that's what I'd like. I think that's going to give it to me. So, here we go. Ooh, that's all right then. Thanks.
It's not as bad as I thought.
I like it.
The orange is disgusting. Could I have some more wheatgrass, please?
Yeah.
I've been on the juice for nearly 2 days, and surprisingly, I actually feel really good.
Actually, I feel pretty good.
Actually, I feel pretty terrific.
Right, there we go. On the 30th of July 1962 I was born. And what I feel now, I'm going to be reborn. And It's my rebirth. That's it. Thank you. Alright, let's turn that off.
Craving food today. Craving a lot of food. I want food. Just one quick high. I sound like a heroin addict.
Hang on, if the super juicers are being fed everything they need from the juice itself, then why does Lewis feel like a heroin addict missing his fix?
They're not missing food at all. I mean, they're having more genuine nutrition than they've probably had in many years. What they're actually missing is, they're almost missing a drug in a way. It's like a drug addict coming off of a drug. That's the only way I can describe it.
Imagine the big food industry is like a squirrel who's selling nuts to other squirrels. It wants to sell more nuts because, of course, it wants to make more money. Now, normally in the wild, animals won't eat unless they're genuinely hungry. So it can only sell nuts when its customers are hungry, right? Wrong. All it needs to do is cook the nuts and add these 3 highly addictive, magical substances: fat, salt, and sugar. Now something truly incredible happens. These new roasted flavored nuts have become highly addictive. They create what amounts to a false hunger. Your body is no longer satisfied when you eat them. Your natural hunger cutoff point is gone. Now, the squirrel's customers will keep buying and eating until they end up with an obese squirrel. And the big food industry is doing exactly the same to us. They're manipulating our food so that we eat more and more and more.
Big food is responsible for, I think, the biggest addiction faced in Western society today. In fact, there's no question of it.
If you go into any restaurant or you go into any mainstream supermarket, we're getting poor nutrition and we're getting toxicity.
It's corn and soy and wheat and sugar and salt and chemicals. That's primarily what people are eating.
Add on to that all the preservatives and the additives that are used in food processing, from MSGs to artificial sweeteners like aspartame, for instance. And also, the preservatives are some of the worst that you can get in your body. So we're eating these on a daily basis.
So we're eating a diet that is very sparse on vegetables and very replete with these monoculture foods that have been spun out of factories and dumped into boxes or packages, and they do not contain life. Where is our life?
You don't actually know what you're eating anymore. When you eat one item, it really is composed of 25 different things. Say you're having some sort of fast food hamburger that in the States are made up of 50% corn, and generally it's genetically modified. And then the other 50% comes from upwards of 100 different cows. You have to ask yourself, what am I really eating anymore?
The biggest thing that's wrong with the food that they were eating before they come here is that it wasn't genuinely feeding them. Look, most people are overfed and undernourished, and so they're constantly hungry because their cells are genuinely starving. You don't often think of somebody being morbidly obese or obese and think that they are starving. But the irony is that's precisely what's happening.
If I carried on the way I was going, eating all the rubbish, and you don't realise how addictive all the white starchy, refined sugar stuff is. I mean, this week I've not been hungry. I've had the headaches, the withdrawal in the beginning, but I can honestly say I have not been hungry. Whereas if I was to go out to my favourite restaurant, Chinese all-you-can-eat buffet, by the time I'd get home, I'd be hungry because it's not feeding my body what it actually needs. It's feeding it for a little while, and then your body realises that it actually does need the vitamins and the nutrients and everything like that, and it's hungry for them things.
convenience and a lot of this instant gratification lifestyle has become the norm. And so many companies have come in to try fill that instant gratification need.
There's a lot of money to do research to figure out what's going to trick your taste buds. And then there's a lot of money out there to figure out the best way to sell things. And so what happens is we basically become addicted to fake foods.
They're packaged up in all sorts of different forms and sold to us as being sometimes even healthy and nutritious, and they're anything but that.
So our tongue tastes and says, oh, it must be good for you because it tastes a certain way. Well, it's just shaped like something that's good for you, but it's not really good for you. It's actually really bad for you. And you know, food companies, they know this. It's $billion industry. They know how to trick you.
Anything that usually says 100% fat-free is loaded with white refined sugar. If something says sugar-free, chances are it has artificial sweeteners in.
Where you want to know why overweight people are insatiably hungry, one of them is artificial sweeteners and artificial flavor enhancers. For example, MSG. Now, MSG in and of itself doesn't really taste good, but what it does is it makes you become addicted to the food, and it makes you want to eat more and more of it. So that's great for food companies because you're gonna eat more, you're gonna want more, they're gonna sell more. It's perfect for them. It's horrible for you.
Everyone wants to talk about food today.
Cheeseburgers, French fries.
Or you can eat Charlie's buffet, boiled ham,
Ice cream.
Pasta.
Bread and butter.
A big stack of ribs with barbecue sauce.
I just want a ham and cheese toasty. Chips. Definitely love chips.
apple Danish pastries.
Not with like normal cheese, with like soft cheese, macaroni salad,
chocolate,
like ham and the bread,
mashed potato,
steak.
I don't even want to keep talking about this stuff because it's starting to make me think in my head, like get back to those thoughts, and like those thoughts are actually starting to leave.
If I said to somebody, look, a banana, for example, is going to cause obesity, ulcerative colitis, Crohn's disease, eczema, psoriasis, high blood pressure, cholesterol, and I said, look, all you need to do is stop eating bananas, the person would just stop eating bananas and they'd find it easy, even if they love them. But if you said to somebody, stop eating white refined sugar, refined fats, or chocolate, or alcohol, or things like coffee, there is an emotional attachment. And addiction to me is if the thought of never doing it again fills you with an abnormal fear, then you're hooked. If it doesn't, then you're not.
I usually have chocolate bars to cover up my problems and my insecurities, and having to deal with everything face on is really, really tough. I feel like this is something I have to do to be able to move on in my life, and I've been eating chocolate, crisps, cola, all that kind of stuff for the past 20 years. I think it's time for me to treat my body with the respect that I should have given it all those years ago.
The cost of our instant gratification life is that we're becoming more overweight, we're becoming more unwell, and we're suffering as a result of these diseases of lifestyle, the diseases of nutrition and the diseases of toxicity.
We're seeing new diseases now, like Lou Gehrig's disease, scleroderma, lupus. We're seeing an escalation of Alzheimer's disease. We're seeing an increase in cancer and diabetes. We're going to see continued escalation of obesity. And right now, we're at a crisis point. And if something doesn't change, all of these diseases are going to continue to escalate.
Who'd have thought, like, fruits and veg would make you feel so good, and so bad as well. I mean, well, it's not the fruit and veg that's making you feel bad. It's all like the toxins in your body that are just getting flushed out, and boy, they've been getting flushed out.
I just did the cross trainer for, I don't know, like 10 minutes, and I started having a small wheeze in my chest. It wasn't even like the really painful one where I can't even breathe anymore. It's just, I took like 5 puffs of the inhaler before being on the treadmill. I jogged for a total of 5 minutes, which, so stupid as it may seem, like has never happened. It's crazy that today's day 5 and that would be an effect.
When I arrived here, I realized that the few medications that I was going to bring with me were missing from my bag. I did get in touch with my doctor, and she was even a little nervous, but she said since I'm coming to a place like this, that I probably don't need to worry about it too much. So maybe this happened for a reason, because I have been trying to get off my meds. Yeah, I think this is perfect for me.
This is my CPAP machine, which is continual positive air pressure. I have to sleep with it. It's my significant other, and for the sake of her sanity, my wife sleeps elsewhere.
Right, this is my CPAP. Now what it does, it's like I'm taking a breath and it forces the air and the oxygen at the moment into me so I can't help but breathe it. I'm gonna hit the hay.
I've only been on juice for nearly 5 days now, and to be honest, I've really been struggling the last few days. My ulcerative colitis has been flaring up big time, and it's been causing me a lot of stomach pains, cramping, and diarrhea. I'm going to the bathroom, about 10 times a day, and it's just very painful.
It feels like this is getting worse before it gets better. I mean, for me, a sign that I'm getting better will be more normal bowel movements and less pain in my stomach. I've been untreated for this ulcerative colitis for over 6 years because the treatments that they offer me started making me go blind. I don't normally just cry or whatever, but it's just been very emotional. I don't want to go home, but I think if I was offered do you want to go home, I would probably go home.
First of all, I thought, I wonder if you can get any juice from the apple. It's called apple juice. It's ridiculously stupid, right? But we're so far removed from doing it ourselves. We're so used to buying everything in the carton. We're so used to apple juice looking like you've had a pee that we don't understand. You've got your 2 apple juices there. I like to do a visual because you can see the difference. Now what's happened here is that this is still alive. See the rich creamy head? What do I think of Andy's suitcase full of drugs? That sentence alone says it all. He's got 2 suitcases in his room, one full of clothes, the other one full entirely of medical drugs.
There we have my tablets. I mean, I'm here for 4 weeks now, and I've had to bring a suitcase because of the amount I'm taking. And I'm hoping this journey is going to halve that or even get rid of most of it. And I can't wait for that. I also take steroids. Now, steroids come with a hunger factor. It's quite scary how fast your weight can increase when you start taking steroids. I've been taking them for 13 years and I would not, really not, like to see my insides because the outside's bad enough. And if I can get rid of the steroids, again, it would be a dream, it really would.
The thing that inspired me more than anything else to do this big juice experiment was my own ill health. I mean, it's hard to imagine now, but I was covered from head to foot. I mean, literally covered from head to foot in an awful skin condition called psoriasis, autoimmune disease where the skin repairs itself roughly 4 times faster than it should and produces these scales on the outside of the body. I had severe eczema, I had severe hay fever, I mean, to the point where I couldn't leave my house. It wasn't just, you know, small amounts of hay fever, itchy eyes. I mean, it was like the worst flu you've ever had. I mean, every single summer for long periods of time. The thing that affected my life a great deal was my severe asthma. I mean, I had really, really bad asthma. You know, for my asthma, I was given the usual, the blue Ventolin inhaler, the brown one, which was the steroid-based one at the time, and I even got some steroid tablets. Not once did anybody even look at what could possibly be causing the problem. They just wanted to treat the symptoms.
With our chronic diseases, we manage them. We don't cure them, and we don't seem to want to cure them. All we do is manage. We lower cholesterol, we try to lower blood sugar, we relieve pain in arthritis, and we give certain medications for pulmonary disease, but basically there's no attention given to trying to cure these.
This is the injection I take. It's an immunosuppressant, although it takes away the inflammation of my Crohn's. A side effect is that I'm open to every cold and virus and pretty much anything I come in contact with, which was why I was hospitalized 3 times this year. I got a virus in my heart and my heart rate dropped quite low. So the doctors didn't really know what was happening. They thought maybe I was either really fit. You know, they said Muhammad Ali has a resting heart rate of 32 beats per minute. I was like, I don't think that's me. I think there might be something wrong. So yeah, this is what at the moment I'm just injecting myself with every 2 weeks. I'd love to go back to only having to take it maybe once a month. You know, ideally nothing altogether. You know, it'd be great to be free of medication, but you know, I'm just expecting, I'd love to be able to just delay having to take it. So
medicine, we know, doesn't fix anything, it doesn't correct anything, and a medicine is a toxin, and it usually interferes with something naturally that's supposed to take place in your body.
Not one single person will be cured of heart disease, pulmonary disease, stroke, arthritis, obesity, and of course diabetes with our current medical approach. In spite of all the technology, all the medications, all the research and money we throw at these problems, we are not conquering chronic disease.
Well, I think the pharmaceutical industry are, it's like disempowering. They're giving people a very simple solution. Here's a pill, take the pill, that's it. Don't need to worry about anything else. Just the mere fact that they think that this is protecting them, stop them from looking at the things that might be causing them to be ill in the first place.
If you are worried about high cholesterol or heart disease, then ask your doctor about Lipitor. Lipitor is a prescription medicine that is proved to reduce the risk of heart attack and stroke. Lipitor is not for everyone and should not be taken by people with liver problems. Your doctor can provide a simple blood test to check your liver.
If you're in the US and you put on the television, you'll see that there is a plethora of drug commercials on TV. These drug commercials are targeted at helping alleviate people's problems, and we have a lot of problems.
Some people can experience allergic reactions to Lipitor, some of which can be life-threatening. Tell your doctor straight away if you have an allergic reaction that causes swelling of the face, lips, tongue, or throat, or affects your breathing. The most common side effects include nausea, nosebleeds, headaches, memory loss, insomnia, nightmares, and an increased risk of diabetes.
You know, if you used anything else and tried to sell anything under the sun that has side effects of liver damage, of kidney damage, of new diseases, of even cancer and death, you wouldn't be able to sell that. But they advertise this stuff all along and the public buys those things. All they are looking for is relief of their symptoms.
We want a quick fix for our modern problems, and the pharmaceutical industry has promised us those quick fixes, but they're not really communicating the costs of those quick fixes.
They're drugging them and drugging them and drugging them, and the drugs have side effects.
I have to put my reading glasses on because the writing is very small. Wow. This is incredible. Right out of the chute. Endometrial cancer, cardiovascular disorders, breast cancer, and probable dementia. Wow.
Memory loss. Again, I presented with it. That causes it. This causes it.
Worsening trouble breathing, coughing, and wheezing.
Dry mouth, nausea, stomach pain.
Lowered resistance to infections.
Confusion, shortness of breath.
Oh, for that side effect.
Feeling sick, weight gain, stomach ulcers.
Feeling or being sick.
Chest pain, coughing up mucus and blood.
Feeling, seeing, or hearing things which do not exist.
Blindness.
Fever, headache.
Bronchitis, bruising, difficulty speaking.
Shock.
Increased pressure in the skull, causing painful eyes, changes in vision.
Shakiness, nervousness.
Rashes.
Loss of bladder control, hair loss, and unusual thoughts.
Symptoms of TB may happen.
Headaches.
Pneumonia.
Cataracts.
Retinal vascular thrombosis.
Irregular heartbeat.
Feeling depressed, including thinking about suicide.
Psychosis, anorexia, osteoporosis.
Ringing in the ears.
Exacerbation of other conditions.
Loss of consciousness.
Feeling dependent or addicted to this product.
Death. Death. If these occur, please inform your doctor. Right. So, if I die, I will tell my doctor. Death is a side effect. Ha ha.
Now, I want to make it fundamentally clear that I am not saying there isn't a place for medical intervention, because clearly there is. I am not anti-medicine. For example, if you're in a car crash and your leg is broken, then clearly a few dream catchers, an aura cleanse, or even juice poured all over your leg are not the first things you're going to need. What you're probably going to need is to go to hospital, get some proper medical attention. And then after that, you might want some juice or other therapies to support the healing process. But the point is that you need to achieve the right balance.
If I have a chronic disease of lifestyle caused by how I eat, how I live, how I react to stress and the toxins in my environment, I need to do something about it that's different than going to the mainstream medical profession. I need to address those causes. And the best way to address those causes is through diet and lifestyle.
For the long-term management of illness, you want to try to wean people off their medicines and start fixing the patient.
I think the turning point for me that made me move away from the medical profession and their drugs was I'd been offered treatment after treatment after treatment. Nothing was getting better at all. And I think the real crunch for me came when the doctor suggested, dermatologist said, for your psoriasis, he said, what I'd like to do is put some coal tar treatment on you. And I said, coal tar, that sounds like the stuff you make a road with, like that hot coal tar. He said, that is what it is. I said, you want to put that on my skin? They said, yeah, we're going to put it on your skin, put you in hospital for 6 weeks and cover you in bandages. It was at that point I thought, you know, there's got to be another way.
Up until now, I've never ever read the sheets. They're there for communications and people can read about things. But they're horror sheets. Now reading them, and reading them possible side effects, as it can happen on an everyday basis. That's outrageous. No, I'm seriously considering what I take as tablets now.
Yesterday my stomach was acting up just a little bit, but today I feel right on form. I really do.
I love being out here in the lake. It's so beautiful and peaceful. Hardly anybody takes advantage of it. And when you're hurting, I think it's the best thing that you could possibly do for yourself. It's nice to get some alone time.
Cheers.
I have degenerative disc, so my lower back has always bothered me. But I just recently had a spinal fusion in my neck. That was actually an emotional one for me. I was able to do things that I actually thought I'd never be able to do with the spinal surgery and the shoulder surgery. So it was awesome. Yeah, it's good to feel I'm clearly healing. I can't wait to do it again. I'll probably cry again too.
I still am fighting a roller coaster battle. I feel like I should be further along than I am. So it's just been really tough for me.
Okay, so John's colitis is not clearing up as rapidly as I first anticipated. So as part of the Big Juice experiment, I'm just going to add in an extra juice to see if it makes any difference. And it's based on a study that I've seen about cabbage juice, of all things, and ulcerative colitis. Now, John remains very skeptical about whether this is going to work. He also doesn't want to drink it because cabbage juice is not the nicest tasting juice in the world, but we are going to mix it with a little bit of apple. I am blindly optimistic, and again, it can't do any harm, but it'd be interesting to see if this works.
It looks like a beer that has too much foam on the top. It's like not even going away. I guess there's nothing to do except for try it, right? Wait, I think I might have to actually do this with a straw because there's so much foam in here. Can I take this foam out or no? It's not as bad as I thought it was going to be, but it's really not as bad as I thought it was going to be. There you go. Oh, that's what I did.
The thing is, I like red cabbage in salads, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. It's wonderful. Terrific even.
Well, that was a surprise. This journey is all about surprises, and another one is I never thought I'd ever drink a cabbage.
The mechanism behind all of our chronic diseases is inflammation. Inflammation is the response to injury. Toxins do cause injury. Injury causes inflammation. If we take a look at what we've done differently, it turns out to be the things we eat. We've gotten away from real food. Everything is processed. I mean, we don't eat an apple anymore, we eat applesauce. And it's loaded up with sugars and preservatives and other sorts of things that are potentially toxic. And in my opinion, that dietary change is the cause of most of these chronic diseases.
As we're consuming these modern foods, we're accumulating toxins within the body. As we accumulate toxins within the body, we're becoming prone to illness. And that illness depends on our genetic predisposition. It depends on our genetic heritage. It depends on where our genetic weakness is in the body.
Many diseases are just manifestations from the same things, and the solution always is about improving the nutrient quality of your food, detoxifying, and addressing stress and emotional issues.
It just stands to reason and common sense that if the vast majority of those diseases are caused by diet and lifestyle, then the simple answer surely is to change the diet and lifestyle, and then they'll just get better.
Since I've been out here, I haven't had any symptoms, which is incredible. I'm just kind of blown away by that. I actually arrived with medication the doctor gave me just in case my symptoms flare up. I used to be on it once a month, and because my dependency has increased so much on it, the few days leading up to the injection I'd get quite ill, very sick and stuff, so I know that it's time to take the injection again. But since I've come out here I haven't needed the injection, so I'm about, tomorrow will be a week over when I was due it and still no symptoms, so yeah, it's going well.
There's only one place, logically, that any of us should be looking for our long-term health. It's the same place that wild animals look for their long-term health and their nutrition. It's nature. We are the only creatures in the world that cook our food. You don't see a gorilla with a barbecue. There's a strange visual there.
If you were on an island, you would find fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, and animal protein. And our bodies understand that. You can eat all of those that you want and you will be enormously healthy. Once you start mixing the other things in, it causes such hormonal and chemical chaos in your body that your body just doesn't know what to do with it.
If we got back to eating real food, real things that were made or grown on the land instead of produced in a factory, we would have a better chance to avoid these toxins and a better chance to avoid the consequences of inflammation.
We should be juicing because so many people have impaired digestive tracts, and digestion is impaired because of the diet we've been on. Along come your beautiful juices. They go right into your intestinal tract, and those nutrients get absorbed into your system. They're going right to work within about 20 or 30 minutes. They're there feeding your body, rejuvenating, giving you energy, giving your body life. This is why you should juice.
I think juicing is the perfect antithesis to the failures of the modern diet and the modern food system. I think it is the exact opposite of a Happy Meal. It is the exact opposite of some Twinkie bar or some fast food junk that we're eating.
We've heard you are what you eat, right? And it's so true. We eat things that are dehydrated, that are void of nutrients, then we start to look and feel dehydrated, sickly, void of nutrients. We eat things like fresh green juice that are, a plethora of nutrients and vitamins and hydrates the body. Then you start to look younger. You start to look fresher. You start to feel more energetic and more passionate and have more purpose in life because you're actually feeling better.
Juices are very alkaline, so they help you detoxify your body, which is essential for weight loss. They help you reduce inflammation, and it's the best way to get energy and vitality.
It's going to make you feel like a new person. You're going to notice all sorts of improvements you haven't noticed for maybe a long, long time.
I was walking with one under my shorts, and I come back now and I find that I can just slip in and out of these shorts without undoing the buttons. It's like, I should imagine putting on a dress. Not that I've ever done that, but, even though I know I'm going to have to buy more clothes, it's a lovely feeling. It's really brilliant. I know I'm doing well now. It's brilliant. Yeah. I've got space.
I got so enthusiastic about juice. I saw everything start clearing up. My skin started to improve. My asthma vanished within a month. That was just me personally, but within 1 month after suffering with it for years and years and years, ever since the age of 8, in fact. My hay fever cleared up, my eczema cleared up, my weight just went down at a rate of knots that I didn't think was humanly possible. I got really evangelical about the whole thing, as you would do. I set out on a mission to juice the world. And I wrote a book on it and I set it out there. I was giving it to everybody I knew. I said, look, you've got to try juicing. Everybody was looking at me like I had 10 heads. Nobody had really heard about juicing at the time. I started to get letters and emails from all over the world. One person would say, do you know what? I did that juicing thing that you said. I did it for 7 days and, my skin started to get better, or my fibromyalgia started to improve. And there appeared to be every single common ailment, condition, or disease that it was improving in some way. I honestly believe that freshly extracted juice has the potential to help millions of people all around the world.
It's the most important thing you'll ever have happen to your body as far as nutrients coming to your 100 trillion cells, because juicing is an immediate absorption of food values.
I don't know what's going to happen. It's going to happen even after this film goes out. I know what's going to happen. Where they're going to get their protein, where they're going to get their calcium. First of all, let's look at this logically. You get somebody like Andy, for example, right, who is suffering so many different diseases going on within inside his body. He is morbidly obese. And then somebody will say, where are you going to get your calcium? As if this was an issue for him at any given time of his life. The irony is, when somebody starts doing this, people panic that they're going to be nutrient deficient.
If I wasn't here and I hadn't been on juice, I couldn't do what I've just done. It's like as if I come through the doors and Andrew Morris's spirit come through and my body was left outside. If juice diets are dangerous, what I'd like them to do is, for a week, I'll take the juice diets and they can take my tablets and then they can tell me what they think after that. That's all I've got to say on that matter, really.
Doing juicing is brilliant. It's given me so much energy. It's actually made me think about what I'm going to eat when I finish juicing. So I think because you're not thinking, well, you are thinking about food all the time, but because you've been so long without the bad food, all you start craving is the good foods, which is really, really good.
There are some people that will argue and say, when they start to eat normally again, they're going to gain all the weight back and they might get sick again. Well, that depends on what their idea of normal is. We need to remember that their normal diet made them overweight, made them incredibly sick to begin with. So we've got this 28 days that hopefully is going to see massive improvements. And then when they leave, if they go back to their old normal diet, well, of course they're going to return to normal. In fact, even worse, because they were going in an awful direction.
When we have talks about lifestyle changes and what we're going to eat, we're all sitting around the table and we're actually talking about very healthy foods, salads, beans and legumes and rice and avocados and just wonderful things. So, most people would think you're here, unable to eat food. You're going to be craving chocolate. You're going to be craving all the chips and all those awful things. And no, you I think it's because your body's getting the nutrients. It's craving nutritious food, not the junk food. You're not in that vicious cycle. So yeah, we're all talking about amazing food changes and swapping recipes for just really good, healthy, whole foods.
When they start to eat quote unquote normally again, what should they look for on the label? The label. If you find any food with a label on, then maybe that's the problem. Whatever you're going to eat, you've got to ask yourself this simple question. Is it low human intervention food? In other words, how many humans have interfered with this piece of food before it came to me?
So I've actually felt really, really good these last couple of days. Everything seems like it's finally starting to work itself out. I've actually had 4 normal bowel movements in the last 3 days, which for me is incredible. It just seems like everything is sorting itself out and I feel a lot better. People are even mentioning it to me, like the way that you're sitting and the way that you're acting, you just look better overall, and I feel better. I feel happy, and I just feel like everything is starting to work out, and I think that this colitis can ultimately go into remission, or what I would like to say cure. And, you know, like I said, I'm just really happy, and nothing is going to change that at this point.
Three, 2, 1, go.
Go for it!
Roger!
My word, he's flying!
Before we climbed up the stairs, I took one puff before, kind of to prevent to have to use it. That's what I do when I run now. I just have it a bit before.
Is it cold?
It's awesome.
Yeah, but it is pretty freezing.
Come on, bro.
No.
Wait.
Yeah.
God, it's so cold. Is that a fish? I feel weird because I'm in a lake and I've never been in a lake until today, so
It makes me feel brilliant. That's my English for you.
scary though, because you get feel fish everywhere and all that kind of stuff. Are you going across?
Huh?
Oh. Are you going across?
If I don't get killed by a speedboat in the meantime.
I want to do it again.
I've just picked an organic orange off a tree and juiced it, and this is the result. From one orange I've drunk half of it already, and it's absolutely delicious. It tastes nothing like orange juice that you buy in a carton, that's for sure.
I've had loads of highs and lows, but mostly highs, and they seem to outweigh the lows, so I just feel so much better.
And how do I see the future? Inhaler free, maybe. And organic, definitely.
Everything is going to completely change when I go home. I'm no way going back to the way that I was. No way, and just not going to happen. Everyone's going to be healthy when I get home. We're going to go out for walks. We're going to do things together as a family rather than my partner and the kids doing something and then I'd wait at home for them to come back. I'm actually going to go out, do it, and just enjoy my life. I actually feel really good. To start off with, I was really out of breath and like couldn't catch my breath, and then as I just carried on through, I feel really good, surprisingly.
Well, actually, I'm kind of impressed with my progress. I mean, I walk and I do the treadmill a little bit at home, but I never would have been able to do this.
I'm feeling great, and despite the few uphill stretches, I'm not too out of breath.
Yeah, we're gonna enjoy this walk. Take it easy. She's my buddy.
No pressure to like walk fast or be at the front or
exactly.
anything. Just
it just kind of like sunk in today as well that like we're going home pretty soon. So you just want to kind of enjoy the moment.
I couldn't walk 50 yards. I just done 10Ks. How weird is that? A few weeks before I came out here, I was laid off from work because I couldn't walk very far. I stepped out of it, and it really feels brilliant. I said I'd be ready. I said I'd be tired at the end of it, didn't I? So here I am, very tired, or exhausted even. I'd love to do it again, though.
You know, it seems really odd that we have reached the stage in 21st century medicine and we are still at the point that we call alternative medicine anything other than medical drugs. I mean, nobody even questions that. Surely the number one doctrine is to first of all do no harm. So surely we should try plant-based medicine first, and then if that doesn't work, we should seek an alternative to what is obvious, and the alternative should be medical drugs. It shouldn't be the other way around.
I think when it comes to looking after your health, you have the power to do it. You're the one that knows your body better than anybody else.
I think when we're really, really healthy, life becomes about nourishing yourself on a mental level, nourishing yourself on an emotional level, nourishing your body.
If you nourish all your defenses and you nourish all your systems and you nourish your immune system and you nourish your brain cells and the body is detoxed, how can you feel but better?
When you look at the fact that the food that you eat really creates the life that you live, everything starts to change.
Juice every day. This has got to be a way of life because that's when you're going to notice your life changes.
This is the bottom line to health. Start doing it on a daily basis. You'll never regret it. It's the ultimate way to feed your 100 trillion internal cells. The ultimate way. There's nothing else that duplicates it.
You will never know how good you can feel until you give juicing a try.
One of the main reasons, of course, I did this documentary was because of my mother's situation. But I'm not saying for 1 second that this is some kind of cure for cancer, nor am I saying actually that it's a cure for anything. But what I am saying is that I strongly believe that the way that we are currently treating lifestyle diseases is flawed on so many levels. In fact, it's completely wrong. I just feel if you just do two very simple, straightforward things, you simply remove the toxicity coming in, the rubbish, and replace the deficiencies, and the body just heals itself.
That's right, it's day 28 at the Juicy Oasis Camp. I'm your host, Lewis Bray.
Day 28.
Wow. It's day 28.
I've been only on juice for 28 days now, and finally I'm there, 28 days.
Day 28. Ridiculous. How I feel on top of the world.
And I feel great.
I feel fantastic.
I still feel fantastic. Able to do far more than I ever could before. I'm really pleased with myself.
The results from this experiment has absolutely astounded me, and I'm gonna be a juicer for life.
This just 4 weeks out of my life has changed the rest of my life. That's all I can say. And I'm not being paid to say it.
I see now the things that I've always wanted to do. I actually feel like I can do them.
I've missed the kids like mad, but they're getting a happier, healthier mum in 4 weeks. That's crazy.
And when I go home, I really don't know what I'm going to eat.
I've been only on juice for 28 days and I feel great. 28 days, a month, 4 weeks. I've had nothing to eat. I haven't, let me get this word right, masqueraded, anyway, I'm not going any further on that word. I'm excited, I really am excited for the future. This month has given me a future.
The weight I was really surprised with, 17 kilos, which is 38 pounds. This was my last opportunity. It was either going to be a gastric bypass or a gastric band. This was what I needed to finally go home and sort myself out for the last time. This has been one of the best experiences of my life. I didn't think I would get as much out of it as what I have. But it's just been amazing, and I'm so lucky. I've got the tools and the knowledge from being here for the 28 days to go home, and I know that I can do this at home.
I've had high cholesterol for probably 15 years. It's almost half of what it was a month ago. That was one of my big concerns, and the blood sugar was one of my big concerns, and that's all within normal range. And my blood pressure is normal range, and of course the weight is an awesome plus. I lost 20 pounds. But I came with a lower back pain, kidney pain, hip pain that I've had for a very long time, shoulder pain, neck pain. Most of my pain's been for well over a decade. A lot of it went away the first week, and the rest, it's all gone. I'm looking forward to getting home and having everybody see, even if I don't say anything, they're going to see the difference in me. It would be impossible to hide it.
I have dropped 33 pounds, which is really good. My overall health and how I feel has just become much better. I don't crave foods to make me feel better. I don't crave chocolate. So excited actually to hopefully inspire someone who's sat on the couch eating a packet of crisps wishing they weren't, and I hope they feel that, well, if he can do it, I can do it.
My conditions have changed dramatically. My ulcerative colitis, I would like to say I'm gonna cure myself of it, but it was a really long journey there. It took me like 20 days to actually even start feeling better, but now I actually see the light, and I truly believe that for me specifically, the cabbage juice, it really has made a world of difference. I guess the message is, if you really want to be better, take control of your health, do whatever it takes, and even if you want to give up, don't give up. Drink your juice and you'll be fine. And I think if you do that, then you'll be able to take your health back and take your life back.
Over the 28 days, I lost almost 8 kilos. My cholesterol went down from 6.7 to 5.9. That's good. My allergies have improved. And for the asthma part, when I started, I was running 4 minutes painfully. And now I run like about 30 minutes. I've increased my speed also quite a bit. And I walked 20K. So they were great. The results were really good. And just more energized and motivated.
My cramps and the the inflammation in my stomach has gone down. I haven't needed the injection at all since I've been here. In terms of, you know, the amount of medication, I've gone from being on all this medication and for the doctors being backed up against the wall to not being on any medication at all. So I'm not as dependent on medication as I originally thought, or even the doctors thought. I definitely feel better for this experience. This has just been life-changing, 100%.
I've been able to come off all my medication because of some of the meds. I was hyperglycemic. I have no hyperglycemia at all now. I have no shakes, no fainting fits, nothing. And it's life-changing for me. It's wonderful. You can only do yourself a favour if you try this. It's the best food you can put into yourself and the fastest way you can get healthy, without a question. I'm taking away a fantastic experience and a great deal of knowledge, and what I believe is the ability to maintain my long-term health. And whilst I may still be 67, I certainly don't feel it.
My results, I was well happy. First of all, this morning, we jumped on the weighing scale and I found that I'd lost 38 pounds, which, you know, I'm really chuffed about. I arrived as a diabetic. I'm leaving with no sign of diabetes. The CPAP machine for sleep apnea, that now is a doorway because it's no good to me at all. If I didn't change, then I really wouldn't have lasted much longer. I would have probably had another year, 2 years in me, but that would have been it. I would have been dead and it would have been too late to juice. This 4 weeks. That's a juice. That really is a juice.
The results have been phenomenal. Yeah, it's the end of the 28-day experiment for sure, but I really hope this isn't the end for them. I hope this is the beginning of lifelong change. And more importantly, I hope that they pick up the tools that they've learned while they've been here and they really take charge of their own health and understand that their health from this point on really is in their own hands.
To notice the big improvement in such a small amount of time, I just want to get home and carry on. I feel amazing.
200% better. I feel great. I feel energized.
Now I feel like I'm on a course to get progressively better, and you know, all of these amazing results really give me the momentum to do that.
I truly feel like I'm 100% right now, which I have not felt 100% in probably 25 years. Yeah, it's pretty incredible.
I'm looking forward to trying to maintain like a healthy lifestyle when I get back and just keep healthy basically.
I feel like my attitude towards medication has changed. I know that I can go a month without my medication and it's kind of the start of something beautiful, I think, so I'm kind of delighted.
My overall health has just improved beyond all recognition. Health and happiness, those are the two main symptoms I'm suffering from, and that's terrific for me.
And now my journey has really saved my life. It's there's no ifs, ands or buts. It's fact. It really has, hand on heart, changed my life.
This is absolutely fantastic. Here, I'm on the start line of the biggest half marathon in the world. In June, I couldn't walk 300 yards, and I'm now about to do 13 miles.
The library that I have of information that I have been reading for 10 years. Trying to get better. Every book that I bought and every little thing that I went for, I thought, okay, this is going to be it. And this actually is it.
doctor was kind of concerned that I wasn't on medication, and he said that I will never be able to cure my Crohn's disease with food. He just kind of said that point blank. And then he followed up all that by saying, by the way, your results are, there's no evidence of Crohn's disease in your gut.
I'm not having any of the pain or problems. The cabbage juice has really been a miracle for me.
Well, now there's a funny old story. Once we had the interviews at the end of the 4 weeks, Jason said, what was I going to do? And I couldn't think of anything else but staying, really. Now we'd started, I'd really like to see it through. Yeah, well, as you know, I had 2 suitcases coming out. One was full of tablets, the other one was my clothes. Now, as I said previously, I was taking 40 tablets a day. But when I actually counted them up, it was actually 52 tablets a day I was taking. Now, Jason did want me to go home with just 1 suitcase, and that was my clothes, obviously. But unfortunately, I still do have to take 2 suitcases. One is my clothes, and the second one, well, the second one I actually have here, and that's my tablets. So, yeah, I got 2 tablets a day now I'm on, so I've lost 50 tablets somewhere, and I'm feeling absolutely fantastic. So, yeah, here we go.
My name is Carrie Kennedy and I have been super juiced.
My name is Brendan and I've been super juiced.
Hi, I'm Dominique and I've been super juiced.
Hi, my name's Julie Duggan and I've been super juiced.
My name is Lisa Ambrose and I'm from Detroit, Michigan, and I've been super juiced.
Juicing brings you so much energy.
Juicing has literally transformed my life.
I'm 49 years of age and I feel better than I did in my 30s.
I'm 80 years old and I feel absolutely great.
I felt so incredible on that program that it was a catalyst for me. I just couldn't stop juicing.
I've been juicing for 3 months and I've already lost 32 pounds.
That's 22 stone, and it's not that long ago. It's only 14 weeks ago. I've lost 30 kilograms in all.
A year ago I was over 4 stone heavier, very unhealthy, and I feel like a new person today.
I've lost over 60 pounds, and what's more important for me personally is I have kept it off.
Since I started juicing, I've managed to lose 7.5 stone.
So far I've lost 91 pounds. I feel absolutely fantastic.
That's me and the jeans that I used to live in, slightly bigger than I am now.
I've lost a load of weight, I've come off a lot of medication and got more energy and more clarity.
I have lost more than 120 pounds, but more than that, more importantly for me, is that I have cured myself from an incurable disease, from polycystic ovaries.
Juicing's had a massive impact on my life. It's helped me with more energy. I can think clearer, I can see clearer. My so-called ADHD isn't as bad.
I no longer have diabetes, no medication, normal blood sugar, and I feel amazing.
Since discovering juicing, I've managed to lose 6.5 stone and overcome my epilepsy, asthma, IBS and eczema.
5 years ago I was diagnosed with an aggressive form of breast cancer. So I turned to juicing, and overall I feel absolutely healthier than I've ever felt in my life.
After a year of being on medication, having an operation and constant to and fro from doctors and hospitals, I am no longer on my medication. I feel so much healthier in myself. and the symptoms have pretty much stopped. It's completely changed my life, and I would recommend everybody to give it a go.
I only have one kidney and I've always struggled with the amount of fluids that I have to have in a day. Juicing completely solves this problem.
I was very, very overweight. My blood pressure was high and I seriously don't know how I'm still alive. But juicing really did change my life in a real positive way.
I tried to get rid of psoriasis using whatever the medical industry prescribed me. By December, I'd cleared the condition by 90%.
I've managed to get rid of a load of illnesses like eczema, asthma and frequent chest infections.
Even better, my chronic childhood asthma that has plagued me my entire adult life has completely vanished. These things here that I used to call my lifeline and puff on them like 3 or 4 times a day, I no longer need them. So long, meds, and hello, juice.
I've been juicing for 8 years since my diagnosis for breast cancer, and hand on heart, I can honestly say I have never felt so amazing, healthy, looked as healthy as I do.
I started juicing a 1.5 years ago, and I found it to be amazing. I've got a chronic anemia, which is called thalassemia minor, and I'm also an athlete. The juice has helped tremendously into giving me the energy that I was lacking.
I've gone from someone who was getting old before their time to someone who feels so young again and so excited about, you know, what's coming in the rest of my life.
I'm getting my old self back, and that's what it's all about.
I'm just about to have my double ginger shot, so cheers.
Go out and get your juicer. Go out and get some fresh fruits and some fresh vegetables. Do it, because nothing could be simpler in taking back your life and taking back your own health. And I promise you, if I can do it, you can do it. You can do it.
I'm so thankful and blessed to be a part of this program, and I would just encourage everyone to go out and get a juicer and get some fresh fruits and vegetables and get to juicing.
If you want to make the rest of your life the best of your life, choose juice.
Do yourselves a favour and be super juiced.
Cheers.